So I made some like nacho cheese, and I put extra jalapenos in it with jalapeno juice.
Okay.
I'm kind of regretting that decision.
Add more cheese.
Nah, just throw some green chilies in. That's what everyone here does.
Yeah, you freaks in New Mexico don't know what's up.
That is true. I don't think every food in existence needs green chili in it.
It's a state law, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. There's fucking green chili ice cream, so I'm pretty sure it might as well be a state law.
Green chili ice cream? Seriously?
Yeah. It's real. If there's a food, I'm sure someone's put green chili on it or in it here. Okay. Well, we can get going. I'm sure he'll show up. He usually does. Okay. What the fuck is going on? Huh. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Would someone be willing to give us a brief recap of the last session?
Yeah. Last session, that creature was freed, that sort of colourful blob of light. We sort of ran away from it, sort of mostly had weird psychic powers. We mostly got away from it, apart from August with Riordan, who didn't. But August managed to make a deal with it to swap a necklace for Riordan to get away. The rest of us managed to make it out upstairs. That is, Devona, Kian, myself, August, not August, Alice, who was unconscious and being carried for the entire session. We managed to make it out into the courtyard, sort of one at a time almost. Then sort of battle going on. Kian a little bit ahead, having been sort of terrified until just running constantly for several minutes. Managed to just make it out completely before the fighting got too thick. But Devona, Alice, and I managed to sort of get there, and unfortunately ran into Hammett, who noticed us, or just noticed me because I hadn't him. And then Dalen engaged Hammett, whilst Devona and Alice, Devona carrying Alice, got over the wall with the intention to follow them as soon as that happened. Unfortunately, the blob that had left August alone then made reappearance and turned what would totally have been a convincing victory for Dalen into being killed. At which point Dalen's soul got dragged around behind it. In the meantime, August, carrying Riordan, decided to chase Oof, and had a sort of weird sort of hallucinatory experience with some dead comrades that party never heard of, and sort of seemed to be just sort of a few paces behind Oof several occasions, but never really caught up to him. But instead found the portal to the astral seas, possibly, that had been hinted at by our friend in the vial, and that was pretty much where we ended up, with Kian, Devona, and Alice regrouping with the cultist, August staring off into the astral seas, Oof in locales unknown, and Dalen having had his soul stuffed back into his body, slightly against his will, as he had been following this creature through these tunnels underground towards quote unquote power source. Now sitting in a chair, talking to Hammer in a torture, with lots of torture technicians standing by. That's where we left off.
Okie doke.
I think August though was talk to the child and
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
yeah, and was going toward an evil or something that called him to the astral sea, or maybe I think I remember that.
He was
No, that
in
sounds
the astral
accurate.
sea, I think.
Yes, he was in the astral sea, entering a rather large castle structure. Okay. Okay. So what we'll pick up is the majority of the party to start off with. So that would be, I believe, Devona, Alice, and Kian. You're still at the storefront in the upper level, but I believe all of you had decided to basically go back to Ilithor and at least discuss with him what happened before making any final decisions.
Yeah.
Although I believe it sounded like the party was leaning pretty heavily towards abandoning ship, I believe.
It did seem like that, didn't it?
I mean, I was certainly for it.
As you are kind of just basically, finalizing that, your little huddle, and preparing to head in to the tunnels, you do hear a rather loud kind of loud footsteps heading towards the front of the store front.
Do these sound like I don't know, like the heavy plated boots of Imperial Knight Hamnet?
No, much larger than that.
Larger.
Oh! Are we? I want to look like the cultists. Are we expecting someone else?
Just the rest of your party if they make it, and the rest of ours if they make it. Seems unlikely given the circumstances, but
Perhaps we should go now then.
well, some of us will have to stay, watch, make sure that anyone else that arrives makes it safely, but you may head off if you'd like.
Will you be sending a guide with us?
Yes. One of the men here can go with you.
All right then. Let's go.
Okay. As you are, he kind of calls over one of the figures, and during this, those footsteps are getting fairly loud at this point. It seems that whatever it is fairly close to the storefront.
I'm really curious, but I also don't want to stick around to find out.
Same.
Okay, so you're heading into the tunnels then?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you start heading into the tunnels then, the god kind of leading the way. The first part isn't particularly tricky since it's pretty much a straight shot. After that, obviously it gets a little bit more labyrinth-like, so he will lead the way. Okay, and at this point, Oof, you would be arriving at the storefront.
I have a question. Am I still in disguise?
Unless you've dropped it, yes, you're still in disguise self.
I will hop off of Papa and undisguise myself from a guard and knock on the door to the storefront.
There isn't an immediate answer, but after a few minutes pass, you kind of hear out a call, and the door does crack open.
I'm here to meet with the rest of my party. We were going to go see. Well, I don't know what we were going to go see, but I'm here to meet the rest of my party.
The door open, kind of. One of the figures will kind of usher you in. You recognize him as kind of the man that was leading this group that was sent with you. He'll usher you in. The rest of the party just actually is being escorted down right now. They decided to get a head start. But it's good to know that another of the party survived.
How far away? How long have they been gone? One of them might be able to help me hide Papa, since I don't think Papa can get down the path here by himself.
Not sure what you mean by Papa, but maybe a minute or two down the tunnels at this point.
Okay, well, if you look out the door, you'll see Papa, and you'll know what I'm talking about. One of my party members can shrink things, I believe, and he might be able to help. So if you can send a messenger to go grab one of them and ask them which one can shrink stuff and come back, that'd be awesome.
Fair enough. Kind of looks over you skeptically. Poke his head, but we'll poke his head outside. See Papa, and kind of just seems to walk back inside, slightly confused, but did you steal that from the academy or something?
No, the academy stole it from me. I built this long before we ever got to Orthan.
Interesting. I'll send a messenger. Should be back shortly, one way or the other. After a few minutes pass, you both see Kia and Ase and Ivona see another of these members kind of run up behind you. One of your friends just returned and was asking for one of you that could shrink something.
Which friend?
He just asked for the person that could shrink something.
Okay. Should we turn? Okay, let's turn around and figure out. I thought that was going to be something a lot worse, but
Yeah.
okay, sure. Let's turn around.
Okay, it only takes you a couple minutes to get back. You do see Oof waiting there for you.
Oof, you're alive.
I am. Slut Pump Slices. We're doing good. I rescued Papa. Found out a little bit more about my father, and here I am.
Where's your friend?
I think he means Papa.
No, I mean the Winter Wolf.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, they took off after I rescued Papa for some reason. I did hear some screams, though, after I rescued Papa and told the guards that were coming at me to go rescue the rest of the constructs. and I do believe the wolves are waiting for them.
Wait, rest of the constructs?
Yeah, Orthan's been building these machines. They're basically war machines, and
Are they like Papa?
they're like Papa, but kind of different. They kind of.
How many of them did they have?
I'm not sure. More than one, in various stages of development.
And did you manage to get others aside from Papa?
No, there was no time for that. I quickly disguised myself as one of the guards and ran off writing Papa and told them, to go take care of the rest of the constructs.
Okay, well, we should probably hurry up because Papa is very noticeable.
Yes, if we could shrink him down and take him with, that would be great.
Before we do shrink him down, though, hold on. How?
Yeah.
Which one of us can shrink him down?
I can.
No,
I'm sorry, you asked a question. Is that...
I was curious if Oof knew which one of us knew how to shrink him down. Because apparently he doesn't know.
Okay, I won't interrupt. Ask him again.
Yeah, I know one of you can do it. I've seen it done before. Just haven't been paying attention to who's doing what.
Alright, Devona, shrink the T-Rex down.
Alright, you have druid magic.
Yeah, that's the kind of magic that I have, right? And Devona will make some signs, gestures with her hand, and elbow gently, I'll say.
Out of character, I really wanted you to say, and then Devona shrinks the T-Rex down.
Yeah,
and we
I
just
thought
all
you
be
could do
like,
it for a
what?
second. I just want to ask, because none of the spells I have will last for longer than an hour. Did we see a place within this facility where Papa could be full-sized? Because otherwise, that'll be uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's a few chambers that would be large enough.
Can
And
we
some of
get
the outer
there?
tunnels are large enough for him.
Can we get there in an hour? Because I really don't have a lot of spells left.
Yeah, you're only about 45 minutes from the very center of the complex, so you'd have time.
Okay, last question. How big is Papa, like size category-wise?
He's large.
Okay. So I will, with a third level spell slot, I guess, cast...
Before you cast that spell, I'll say, can't he already fit? Can't large creatures fit in medium-sized spaces if they squeeze?
Can he fit?
He could not get into the shop.
Okay.
That's the main
So
issue.
I'll just make the door bigger.
Once he was in the tunnels, you could probably, squeeze it through. The issue is there's no way he could get in the shop without, just wrecking the front of it.
Okay, I'll use a third level slot and I will cast Reduce. So that should make him medium sized.
Let's go, Papa. Come on. I'm assuming Papa will fit through the door at this point.
Yes. And are you all headed to meet Illithor now?
Yeah.
Is there anything any of you would like to discuss while walking there?
Yeah. Why didn't you stay with us, Oof?
We would have helped you rescue Papa if you told us you knew where he was.
Do you know what happened to August or Dalen?
Haven't got a clue.
Is that the answer to all of our questions?
Say that again.
So is that the answer to all of our questions?
Haven't got a clue.
You really do need communication help.
So I've been told.
If Dalen survives, maybe he can give that training he talked about.
Oof will give you a look.
Oh, speaking of which, I guess if you don't know, we don't know where Dalen or August are. The last time we saw Dalen, he was fighting he was fighting Imperial Knight Hammett.
Hammett, yeah.
And the last time we saw August, he was I don't even remember the last time I saw August.
Last time we saw August, he was behind the creature, and the creature followed us. Oh, and by the way, we encountered very strange creature that was floating and was multicolored, and apparently was from another. I don't know. Alice, you explain it, right? You kind
We
of
encountered
understand what it
an
is,
extra
right?
dimensional being. I mean, I don't really know how much. I don't really know much about it, other than the moment that I turned away from it, I was seized with inescapable feelings. I just couldn't react. It's horrifying. And I really hope we never see it again. But I also really, really hope that someone is able to kill it, because I do not know what kind of chaos it will unleash upon this planet.
Upon hearing this, Oof thinks and looks pensively at you and just shakes his head.
It was really bizarre encounter.
Sounds like it.
Is that all that happened to you? You just went and rescued Papa?
Well, I poked my head around here and there. Found room 123. I don't know if anyone was with me. I found a note signed by my father, who was apparently working in room 123 at the academy. I'm not sure how he got there. But he was doing some research on an ancient civilization. We may have actually been there. These drawings kind of reminded me of the ruins we had once visited. And there may have been some references to different astral planes or extra-dimensional planes or something along those effects.
Is that why they were interested in that civilization?
You ever just have a feeling?
Is that the same civilization where we discovered Tethir?
The Elven ruins?
Yeah.
I don't know, Lucas. You'll have to fill me in on this one.
Technically, the party found Tathir below the village, which was not in the ruins, but was very close to the ruins, and there was some kind of building that had appeared there when your party re-entered that seemed much more similar to the ruins in architecture and age. It was pretty much very, very old, so there does seem to be some connection between them.
I don't know, it just feels like we're not... Like, it feels like there's a connection between what Orthan is doing and Tethir that we don't know about. I don't think he just wants to stop them.
Alice, do you have to hear?
Yes. No.
No?
Wait, I don't remember. Did Dalen give Tethir to me?
I think he did, didn't he?
I was stunned for all of that.
So I think I tried to.
I think we talked about it after the session. I don't think you gave it to me.
So if I didn't give him to you, Tethir is currently in my possession in the torture chamber.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Okay, that's fair enough. I wasn't 100% sure whether or not you'd actually had a chance to take him before, because
Yeah,
combat.
and I
occurred
think we just
immediately.
talked about that after the game.
Okay, then yeah, I have to think. Yo, that's going to go super well for me when I defend my
Yeah.
innocence.
It's good for us because we don't have to fear. Yay!
But I mean, I'm not really sure how I feel about Orthan having Tethir either.
Well, I think they were
Something
pretty
that's
clear on
good.
their stance about Tethir, so
I mean, maybe he'll be as much of a bother to them as he was to us.
we can only hope so. I mean, I think they would destroy it if they had the opportunity, and I think they're probably more equipped to try and destroy it.
Well, in that case, I guess we don't have to worry about Tethir's connection to anything, right?
I wouldn't say we should forget about it, but it's not our most pressing issue anymore.
Yeah. So, what is our most pressing issue at this point? What exactly are we gonna talk with Othar about?
Well,
I
I'm dying,
suppose-
so that's my most pressing issue. But
You're dying?
Mhm.
Did we talk about this?
I don't think so.
What do you mean you're dying?
I mean, like, we're all dying, aren't we? Like, as soon as we're alive, we're moving towards death. I'm just moving at a more accelerated rate than I really should be.
You're an elf, though. Shouldn't you be more durable?
Probably. I got infected by a human disease.
That doesn't sound right.
I know, I don't think it is right. But yeah, I just felt like I should share that because it feels like things are getting more and more complicated and people are pursuing their own agendas more and more. So, just cards on the table.
Do
Okay.
you
Thank you
have
for
an idea
sharing.
how long you have left?
I definitely measured in years. So, like, not something that we need to worry about, like, right now. It's something that I'm worrying about right now, but we don't have
Ah,
all
do you have any idea how many years? Like, do you have like 30 left or?
I think
100?
it's somewhere between. It's like less than a decade, but more than a year.
Okay, that's plenty of time. I can figure
So,
something out before then.
yeah, we'll probably take care of that after we take care of Ortha, right?
Yeah, I've heard of some magic that might be able to help. I just haven't really
True,
studied it much.
I think. I mean, I've heard about clerics being able to do amazing things, granting very big miracles. So
Oh, you're right. I could probably ask His Divine Sovereign Dread Malign II if he would grant me such a
I don't think that's gonna work.
No?
No.
I don't think he's a cleric, you know?
I also don't think he's our friend.
Well,
There's
I mean,
that.
we're gonna kill him, right? So, like, right before he dies, we could be like, hey, give us a miracle, or...
Don't think you should allow someone we're about to kill to get a miracle. That sounds like a poor strategy.
It'd probably curse you or something.
You're probably right. I'll just have to ask Cameron.
Nah,
Speaking
also
of
that.
which, what are we gonna do about Dalen? Right now, we're talking to Illithor, but, like, what about Dalen? Are we gonna rescue him? So I feel like nothing's good's gonna happen if we don't.
As much as I don't want to keep relying on these people, I think our odds of rescuing him are absolutely zero without their help.
True,
But
especially since we have no idea where he is at this point.
Do you think we can get them to rescue him for us? Because that last mission of ours did not inspire a lot of confidence within me. Everything seemed to go wrong at the worst possible moment, and we failed. At the one thing that I've been trying to do since I got here.
To be fair, we failed because of
the fear. So
And we haven't technically failed yet. Both the other Earth and August's fates are unknown. They could still be.
I'm very skeptical.
I guess we'll have to trust in August to bring Reardon back with him.
But for now, I think our priority is talk to Illithor, figure out what's happening, and try and rescue Dalen. And after that, try and figure out a way that we can take on Orthan without the cult's help.
Also, if August isn't back
Oh yeah, finding
the
him.
next day, I think we should also think about ways maybe to locate him or something, or contact him.
So priority number one is reuniting all of us. It seems like a goal we can work towards.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, you all would be reaching kind of the center of this complex. The guide kind of moving you through. If you had mentioned something, the guide could also show you a room where Papa could be returned to size without any issues.
Cool. I will drop concentration on that.
Okay. Basically, it's just kind of a large storage area. So. And once that's taken care of, the god will kind of turn to you. Are you ready to meet with Illithor? He very much wants to speak with all of you.
Let's go.
Lead the way.
Okay. He'll lead you then to kind of that central meeting room. Again, you can see Illithor talking with several people when you enter. As you do, he kind of looks up for a second, notices you, and seems to kind of motion the others away. Good to see you make it all, well, at least all of you four make it back.
Yeah. How did the other mission fare?
It was a success.
It was.
Yes. Thanks to your help, of course.
I don't think, well,
Wait,
I thought that you would cause enough of a distraction that you would be able to make it in and out of the academy relatively easily.
were we the distraction?
But yeah, but it seems like we were the distraction.
Well, I mean, both missions were important, of course, and hopefully yours will as well. I have many questions for you, but it does seem that somewhere along the line, the guards were much more quickly alerted to the infiltration of the academy than we had anticipated.
Illithor, have you ever thought about being a politician? That was a great not answer.
I've considered it, but the current state of Orthan does not actually give much room for me to exist as such. But if we are able to restore some sense of republic to this republic, I may run for office one day, yes.
Don't think I'm going to vote for you, but also
Yeah,
not a
the
citizen,
one
so
will
don't be
just laugh
offended.
at that.
Well, you're not exactly my constituency anyways. But we have more pressing concerns. I'm very curious on how your missions went. So if you could please share whatever happened.
The infiltration of the academy went as planned. We had found an administrator who we convinced to take us to the appropriate wing and unlock any needed doors. And we were actually being fairly productive and successful. We managed to secure one of the people we were looking for. On our way out, we encountered a creature that is almost indescribable, but from there, I don't have a great recollection of things happening.
The creature was in a cell, and for whatever reason, the seer thought it would be a good idea to break it out of its cell and let it loose, and that caused our party to split, and for our mission to, I don't want to say fail, because we're still unsure if August succeeded in making his way out or not with the Riordan, but yeah, we don't know if he succeeded or not.
And I presume there has been no contact with August since there was this split you speak of?
No.
Worrisome.
If I can get some rest, I might be able to try. But I have no idea where he is, and we already know sending doesn't work in a lot of places in the academy. So I'm not confident it would work.
Also, last we saw Dalen was when he was fighting Imperial Knight Hammett, so we're unsure if he's still alive or not.
Well, I do have some news on that front, at the very least. What men I had, some of my men survived the academy after you all fled. And they did report seeing afterwards combat between what we presume is Dalen and Hammett. From the accounts, it would seem that Dalen lost and his body was transported into the academy. From there, I have nothing else, but I do know that much.
You say his body, so is he dead?
It was hard to tell at the distance, dead or unconscious.
If he wasn't dead, what will they do to him?
Torture, most likely.
Where would they take him?
Depends on their timeline. Considering the severity of the recent events that have occurred, things have escalated, I presume, so they'll do it as soon as possible, which would be if they have holding cells in the academy, they'll probably keep them there.
They have a lot of cells there. Finding him would be really tricky.
I have a feeling if they want to do something more immediate, he won't be held with the rest. He may even be just immediately, once he's unconscious again, be brought in for torturing or interrogation.
You said you were one of their prisoners at some point in your life, didn't you?
Yes, about 20, 30 years ago.
Were you kept unconscious as well? All the prisoners there were under some kind of poison, or I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of magic. I'm unsure.
No, when I was held, that hadn't come into, fruition yet, I suppose. But some of our scouts and informants from within have spoken of it. We're unsure if it is a poison or some kind of other effect that's going on, but it seems mostly to be in the realm of pacification. it also seems to somehow play into some of the aspects of whatever, I don't know, brainwashing or however they're altering people there. That seems to play some aspect into it.
That's alarming.
Well, they're unconscious. They're brainwashing them.
We're not sure, honestly. All of that has been kept, even from our top informants that we placed within the Orthan bureaucracy. That information is classified beyond even them. Hopefully, we may get some answers soon about that and many other things, but it will take time, which seems to be something we have very little of.
Well, if August makes it back with you, then maybe we'll get some of our answers.
Yes, that would be ideal. But if you somehow lost contact and were separated from him, and he is within the academy or otherwise, my hopes for him are not high.
He's a sneaky one.
Hopefully for his sake. Was there any other information you had about this entity you mentioned you met in the prisons? You did say that Tathir was the one who...
I remember Dalen holding Tathir's vial up to the glass, and then the glass shattered and the creature broke free.
There seemed to be a reason.
Not any that we were able to get.
It did attack us as soon as it was out of itself, so...
It was quite powerful.
Yes. It did manage to make its way out of the academy, though, so...
Did you by any chance see where it was heading?
No.
Was it headed north, I think?
The last time you saw it, they had exited the academy from the north, but it seemed to be heading towards the center of the city.
So I'll tell Evathar. It was, I think, headed toward the center of the city, but I don't know what to do after that.
Do you know what it was?
No. I mean, one of my men that survived mentioned some brief description of this that you're talking about right now, but I'm not certain. It's not of this plane, I'm sure of that. But I'm afraid probably the only person that would know, at least immediately, would probably be Tathir. Speaking of, do any of you actually have Tathir with you?
Dalen had him last I saw.
Before we took him, while we were escaping, he says, mind your own business.
That is a interesting answer. So then, who was in possession of Tathir then?
I am, obviously.
You are?
Yes, Tathir didn't want me to share it with you, Alice. But since we're talking to Elithor, it seemed that we should something that should be mentioned. Tathir's very secretive.
No, he's definitely going to insight check you at this point. So if you're lying, make a deception roll. You are lying.
I am lying.
Why are you lying?
I figured it wouldn't be a good idea to let them know that Tathir is missing. Because if they know he's missing, they might want to try and get him back.
Imagine if they think you have Tathir, they'll try and take it from you. Because last time you tried to destroy it.
If they try to get it back, it would be a good chance for us to try and get Dalen as well, though.
ho!
It's a pretty good roll.
Well,
I didn't see magic, but you must have it.
Yes, I was sure it was still with Dalen.
When did you and Dalen discuss this? And I thought we weren't keeping secrets anymore.
we'll talk about this later.
Ilithor will kind of turn to you then and say, "Can I speak to Thea then?"
He says he doesn't want to talk to you.
That does not seem accurate.
It's true. Alright, it's not true. I don't want you to talk to him.
They ask why.
I don't like you. And I don't trust Tithir. And that's the truth.
Given what events you've described, I would say your distrust is well placed. If he did unleash this entity for no reason, I doubt there was no reason, but nonetheless, it is a fair enough reaction. But I will remind you that I am in a decent position with Tathir and could probably come to some rational answer here about what's going on.
Alright. Well, no. Fuck. I don't have Tithir. Dalen's got Tithir. The Orthan Republic has Tithir. That's where you should stay.
It's very
Are
worrisome.
you saying the truth now or earlier?
Did you lie to us?
You're
No,
a really good deception. I'm not sure we'll believe you now.
No, guys, I don't have Tithir. Dalen has Tithir.
Prove it.
How... Alistair, you are a smart person. How do you prove something's not true?
I'm not sure. I'm not very good at telling people.
Sure.
about
Proving a
it.
Then I
negative doesn't
guess-
do anything. I'll like open my arms. I don't have like a lot of pockets, so like I don't search me if you want. I guess I'll strip naked if you want.
Just out
No,
of curiosity,
that-
I want to put a
that's
hand in
fine.
and see what's in there.
Which pockets?
Just a pocket. What do you have in your pockets?
Probably like some herbs that I got from your hotel.
Not Cynthia. Put it back. Okay. Although we're gonna have to talk about this lying thing later.
It is of some concern. Why would you feel that that information would not be relevant to share at this moment?
Like I said, I don't trust you guys, and I didn't want you to know where he was because I don't want you to have him. Because I think you're gonna use him to do bad things, and I don't like when you guys collude. So
Well, it's a very simplistic perspective, but I suppose that's to be expected from a druid.
excuse me.
That sounded offensive.
What are
It was
you?
meant
Thor?
to.
Are you a wizard? A cleric? How are you so good at magic?
It's a mixture of many things. I don't generally classify myself as a wizard, though. Although, I've dipped my toes into that as well. But there's very little formal training in Orthan.
Well, fine.
But it does seem that, once again, whether or not party cares for it, our interests do align quite a bit here. If Orthan is holding both Dalen and Tathir, we would have good reason to seek out both of those.
Here we go again.
I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, no, you're right. We do want to save Dalen, and personally, I would like it very much if Orthan didn't have to tear.
And I am aware of at least one of your descent, and I think it would only be fair, given the circumstances that have recently happened, that if we were able to reacquire Tithia in the process, that while I would be given the opportunity to speak with him, I would allow it to leave it to the party's discretion where or who would keep the vial. Seems fair given the circumstances.
Fair enough. However, I really don't believe it will be that easy to get to Dalen at this point.
It won't.
Yes, I expect that many more guards will be posted at the academy.
Yes, the entire city is on lockdown right now.
And however you manage to get the people of the academy unconscious, I don't think that's gonna work once more.
No, most likely not.
But
Either
we need
way,
to act
though,
as quickly as possible, right? Like the longer Dalen's in their grasp, the more bad things are going to happen to him.
I think moving hastily is potentially more dangerous. If we went into any sort of fight right now, I wouldn't be any help, and I don't expect that we'll take him back without a fight.
I mean, maybe not
You
right
only
now,
need
but I
4
mean, like,
hours though, don't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
like we need to do this within 24 hours, I think.
It would also really help if we knew where August was. Or if he had been captured too.
We don't know where August is. Like, we have no clue. If we devote any amount of resources to finding him, then
When did we lose him?
When we were making our way out of the academy, the creature blocked his way towards us.
well, either way, it does seem that anything too rash would be ill-advised, but we could start preparing for something within the next 24 hours, give everyone time to at least try to recuperate, give our forces some time. We did take severe losses in our mission.
Okay. And they said he's being held in the academy, right? At least for now?
At least for now, yes. I'll try to keep someone posted in the area, but given the current crackdown, that will prove difficult. But at the very least, hopefully will be informed if he is being moved.
And if you find out any other information about that other creature we mentioned or where it has ended up or its fate, I would appreciate you letting us know.
We'll be certain to just do that. That information may prove even more difficult. It seems that no one knows exactly where it's gone, but
It didn't look very subtle.
well, it did lay quite a path of destruction, it would seem, towards the center of the city, but after that, it just disappeared.
Okay. Well, I would like to take some time to rest now.
Yes, please, all of you, do whatever you must. Prepare yourselves, rest, make sure that you're recovered in any ways that you can be. You will have time if you would like to spend some time and resources towards finding your other friend, but it's of course up to you.
Lothar, I might need a few spell components. Would that be within your resources?
Most likely, if it's nothing particularly exotic.
Mostly more diamond dust.
I mean, and also if you have any more magical knowledge that you'd like to share, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt.
Honestly, I just need diamonds.
And given our time frame, I do not believe we have time, but for any magical knowledge. But we could spare some of our supplies for you.
Alright, sounds good. Until then, though, I still have a few spell slots left and some divination magic. Do you think it would be dangerous if I went flying around the city in the form of an animal?
Depends. The city is on crackdown. My men have reported guards and soldiers shooting down flying animals. It seems you have captured their attention.
Oh, I'm glad they finally figured it out. Alright, well, I don't think I can... I guess I could go as like a little animal, like a rat. I haven't done that yet. I doubt that the guards are going to start shooting every rat they see.
It's unlikely.
I'll look to Alice, say. I still have locate creature and locate object. I could go to that area of the city and just try and see if I can sense August.
Okay. Yeah. I can't go with you, but just be careful.
Okay. I'll be back in an hour or so then. Or I won't be, and you can come rescue me with you.
If you're not back in a couple hours, I'll send you a message.
Okay. Alright. I'll scamper off and turn into a rat, I guess. Something small and fast. And I'll cast locate creature for August, and then turn into that animal and just scamper around, trying to feel him.
Okay. Before doing that, one of the men could point you out one of the access points that would just lead out into the sewer, which would get you up to the city a lot quicker.
Oh, perfect.
But then from there, you could do that. As for the rest of the party, as you're all kind of getting ready to rest or finish up, Ilthor will turn and just say, now when everyone is prepared, please come and see me again. We'll be making preparations, but there are some things I would think would be best to run by you beforehand, just so that there's no further distrust or worries about any miscommunication between us.
Alright.
Fair enough. My men will have rooms prepared for you. Please feel free to do whatever you must to prepare yourselves. If you have any other questions, concerns, otherwise for me, please let me know.
Okay.
Well, at that point, he'll kind of, dismiss you, and you can go and rest then. Will everyone here be taking a long rest?
I will be.
Would you
Yeah.
be Oof and Devona as well, or just...
Oof will take the opportunity to. Why not?
If we're gonna stay that long, then yeah, I'll take the long rest.
Well, it sounds like that anything, like in terms of like a plan won't be ready for probably at least most of the day, so...
Yeah, in that case, yeah, I'll take the long rest.
Fair enough.
When I get back, I'll long rest as well. but I for a long rest faster than they do. So
Yes, you will. Even if it takes you 4 hours, you'll finish at the same time as them. So, speaking of, you're out in the city now. You said you casted Locate Creature for August.
yeah,
Where would you be heading?
just around the academy. It's got a radius of 1,000 feet, so I don't actually want to get too close to the academy.
Fair
Like
enough.
just there, and then do kind of like a radius around it, trying to feel if I can feel them.
There is no August and within the academy, and you think you
I
make a
figured.
pretty good circle of it.
I'll try and just like widen that search area. Although probably like it only lasts an hour. It probably takes me about an hour to do a big radius around the academy as a rat.
Probably around there. I mean, maybe a little bit less. You could extend it a little bit, but you for sure know that there is no. Definitely, August is not in the academy. It's clearly not 1,000 feet deep, and you've covered the entire surface of it.
Or he's in one of those prison cells that blocks divination magic.
That would be a possibility as well.
Okay. I'd have no way to narrow it down beyond that, unless I just burn every spell slot I've got left trying to find him. So I'll scamper back into the sewer and go back.
And then do a long rest.
What do I see though out on the streets while I do that? Like, what does it look like around the academy?
Nothing but guards and soldiers. There are no civilians on the street, and there are heavy patrols down every street you've gone, like every main street that you passed.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'll head back and long rest then.
The other thing you would have seen is that in several of the larger patrols, of like a dozen plus guards and soldiers, there are some automated constructs with them.
Oh.
It
What do
looks
they
like
look
the streets are pretty much militarized at this point.
Do the constructs like look like Papa? Like
No.
even like vaguely, or do they just like look like constructs?
They basically look like very crude. Not that obviously Keen has any reference point for this, but they look like very crude, kind of Da Vinci-esque tanks.
So I don't think that Orthan like copied Papa and then like weaponized him.
No, it does not
All
seem
right.
so.
Cool. A little part of me was worried that Noof like accidentally gave them a war machine.
Yeah. This is only slightly better though.
I'll scamper back and prepare for what might be a suicide mission.
Fair enough. Speaking of death, we could jump to either party member. But first we'll jump to August. You have just entered the castle in the Astral Seas, and the child has materialized in front of you. Just as a point of reference, it is in the handout, so I'll show it to you. That is kind of what it looks like, just so you have a point of reference there.
Pretty.
All right.
What would you like to do?
Yeah, gonna go further in, yeah.
Okay. You do seem to, again, like previously, it seems that you are guided in towards this light that seems to kind of direct you further inside of the castle.
Yep. I'll follow it. I'll be keeping an eye out though for anything that might catch my attention.
Fair enough. There are large statues. You're kind of walking down this central hallway from like the main area at this point. These large statues on either side of you of various figures that you don't really recognize. They do seem elvish, some humanish, but mostly elvish. You do have the feeling of being watched while you're walking down this hallway. It's a little unsettling, but so is a lot of this, probably.
Yeah.
Eventually, the light kind of seems to lead you towards this large doorway. It seems to already be slightly cracked open. Pretty much just enough room for you to move through it.
All right. Yeah, I'll go in there. Yeah.
Okay. As you enter into what seems like some kind of large hall, like kind of almost like a banquet hall. But instead of any kind of tables or that kind of thing, it seems to almost be this very crude in some senses, like it seems kind of haphazard and rushed. But there are a lot of kind of testing materials, workbenches, laboratory equipment, more or less, very similar to some of the things you've seen within the academy. But far less well put together than anything you saw there.
All right. Is there anything else in the room?
There is a large kind of circular panel at the very center of the room, and that is where the light seems to be directing you.
All right. I think I'll. Yeah, I think I'll just go to the panel then.
Okay. You do see while you're heading over to the panel, the child seems to just be wandering over to some of the workbenches and kind of looking through some of the papers that are scattered across them, as well as picking up several pieces that have been scattered on the ground. It seems that whoever was here had left in a hurry or something had happened here.
Okay.
But yes, when you get to kind of that circular panel, it doesn't seem to have any obvious way of opening it, but when you do kind of get close to it, there's a sudden kind of glow, and it slowly spirals downwards and reveals a staircase leading further inward, lower into the castle. As it does open, as it's kind of looking through all the papers, the child will turn to you. Whatever the source of that evil I spoke of, it's down there.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
I suppose there's only one way to find out, though.
Yeah. And then yeah, go down the stairs.
Okay. As you are heading down the stairs, it is fairly dark, although as you continuously walk down, there are torches along the edges, although all extinguished, but as you walk past them, each one lights up. This continues on for a few minutes. Eventually, you kind of get to the bottom. You think you're probably a good couple 100 feet down at this point. And it kind of opens into this chamber, and you see again this large set of doors, different though than many of the doors you've seen before. This entire kind of space seems a bit different. There is a clear marking of the Orthan Republic on the door, and the room does not seem to be of the same construction. It seems far newer than any other part of this building you've been in thus far.
All right. Yeah, okay, just try and open it then, I guess.
Okay. as you do kind of get closer to the door, there isn't any obvious handles or anything like that. And when you press it, it does not open. But you do see, similar to things you've seen before, those small kind of circular holes in the door.
Yeah. Uh, Wait, so like the circle things are like the plate from before?
It seems to be, yeah.
Okay, then yeah. I'll just go up to them then, yeah.
Okay, so what are you trying to do with them?
Guess I'll just try pressing in on them. Or are they holes?
They do seem to be kind of they do seem slightly different than the ones you've seen before, but they do seem like holes.
Alright, yeah. Then yeah, I guess I'll just try and press them. Yeah.
Okay. When you do, nothing immediately seems to happen. But you can kind of see this light source that's kind of been guiding you. It does seem to intensify at this point.
Alright. Yeah, I guess I keep it up.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep pressing the buttons then.
Okay, as you are doing that, the child will kind of walk over next to you and kind of look over what you're doing. So, what's the plan?
Do things until the door opens.
Well, if we just need to get to the other side, I can do that.
Alright. Go ahead.
At this point, the child will kind of take you by the hand, and with this sudden kind of flash, you just seem to appear on the other side. You seem to be in some kind of chamber, fairly large, circular. And what you see is at the very center of this room, just a massive book, piled on what looks like the bones of probably a few dozen corpses.
Alright,
It looks something like that.
good. Where is the light?
At this point, the light seems to have kind of dissipated, but the originating source seems to have been on the book itself.
Alright, can I like just like inspect the bones, see like just make sure I can kind of guess the obvious. Like, yeah,
They're definitely bones.
yeah.
What exactly would you be trying to see with them?
How they died, I guess is the best way of putting it.
Okay, you could roll investigation or medicine.
Oof.
You're really not sure. But even with that, I mean, none of the bones seem old necessarily.
All right.
And there's no dust around it or anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn to the child and be like, so this is the great evil, a book.
Yes, I've only heard stories of this. Didn't think it was real.
What is it?
I've heard it be called many names. One that seems to appear a lot is the Codex. Although, like I said, its name has varied from people to people. Always mostly a myth, but seemingly not. This would explain quite a bit, though.
Like?
Well, whatever weapon the Orthan Republic has made to kill gods is not something that any mortal has had for as long as I can remember. Since the first separation, probably. And if there was one source where that information could be found again, it would be this book.
Yeah. So, what do you want to do with this then?
I don't really know. There's not a whole lot we can do. It's in some ways. There's no recorded way of destroying the book. And anyone that reads it has one of the consequences can be, well, death. I think the child kind of motions at the large pile of bones.
Clearly.
Among madness and other such things. I suppose some think the pros outweigh the risks. I mean, unlimited knowledge is quite powerful, obviously. And if this is in the hands of Orthan, it is truly worrisome.
Well, do you maybe think we could move it?
Possibly. I don't quite know if we currently have the strength to do so, but we could try.
Alright. Yeah. August is gonna try and move the book.
Okay. Make a straight strength check.
Oh, wow.
It
Getting
does
those
not
good
budge an
rolls.
inch. It
Alright.
doesn't even move as you push it.
Yeah, August is just gonna give it another go.
Okay. Okay. As you do start to try to push it, it does move a little bit. Does not move very far. You presume you're at this point you have a good sense of it. This thing probably weighs hundreds and hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
The likelihood of being able to carry it up that staircase seems slim at the moment.
For sure.
Well, this is a worrisome problem. Only compounded by the fact that it seems Tathir wanted to find this as well.
Yeah.
Well, either way, we shouldn't stay here long. The stories I've heard of this codex are not pleasant. It seems to have the power to compel others to read it. And while that may not affect me, it most certainly will probably affect you.
Yeah, let's get out of here then.
Sounds like a plan. And with that, it'll kind of grab your hand again, and you'll be pushed back to the other room at the low end of the staircase on the other side of the door, basically.
Yeah, and probably start heading back towards the elf whose name I've forgotten. I think it starts with an R, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It does start with an R. As you do get back up the staircase, you're kind of in that room again. Before you do leave it, the child will kind of point out or kind of ask your opinion of something. It will kind of hand over a couple of the papers it had been reading. Can you make heads or tails of any of this?
Yeah, August would take a look. Can he?
Make an intelligence check. Probably not our strong suit, but
Got him.
got him. You really can't. It almost seems like gibberish.
I cannot, but if I manage to meet up with the rest of the group, I'm sure one of them can.
Interesting. There was another thing that, well, interested me, concerned me. Maybe a mixture of both. These notes, and it kind of points towards kind of a workbench towards the back. It seems even, it's a little in disarray, similarly to many of the other ones, but even then, it seems a little bit more well kept. Seems so a little bit more orderly. I presume you won't probably understand any of this, but and it kind of hands over the papers. You do or are able, I suppose, to read it. It is written in Tuvres.
Alright.
See, these are written in an ancient language that, well, I believe to be long lost to anyone alive.
Yeah, sure. And August is just like reading over it. Just, why not?
It seems to be, from what you can tell, some kind of transcription. Like, this doesn't seem like notes or something that's like someone's writing for like record keeping. It seems to be some kind of transcription from some process, some kind of ritualistic process. It's hard to make out to what end. It's just kind of trying to read through it right now.
Is there anything like odd or like horrible about it, basically, about the process?
Not really. It seems to have been some kind of location ritual, like finding something. And gaining access to it. There's speak of traveling between the planes to do so.
Yeah. I'll just go ahead and explain that all to the child.
Oh, I mean, I could read it. But
Oh, okay.
you could as well.
Yeah.
And how is that?
Oh, Tyr gave me power, and it's working out so far.
In return for
Loyalty to him, kinda.
Will that mean you'll be telling Tathir what we found here?
No.
Are you telling the truth?
Yeah. August is telling the truth. He's pretty sure that no matter who has the book is bad. And he's very uncertain about Tathir in general, so yeah.
The child will kind of nod its head. Good. We will have to figure out something to do here. I'm not sure what, though. But whoever has this, it can only spell ruin, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm. So what is your intention then?
Take that elf back to the group and see where everyone is. Well, see how everyone's doing after that large kerfuffle that was that operation.
Fair enough. I would pose, well, one slight hiccup in that plan.
Yeah.
The portal you came through was in the academy, was it not?
Yeah.
If you go back through that, you will be returned to the same location.
Yeah. I was hoping you could maybe help with that. I'm not sure if you can, though.
I can, not through my own powers. While I can move myself between the planes, moving another in my current state is slightly beyond me, especially if there's two others. Be very taxing, verging on probably impossible at the moment. But I do know of other portals here that I could possibly lead you to.
That could work.
There is some stipulation with that. None of them are within Orthan City. Well, that I know of. There are other portals I presume they have, but I presume we don't want to be using those ones anyways. Because ending up at a portal they control probably would end in either your death or your capture.
Yeah.
There are some on the continent, and some on the island of Orthan itself. Naturally occurring, I suppose, where there's the planes. The separation between the planes is the weakest. But that does pose other problems, since, in my experience, any mortal that spends a significant amount of time in the astral seas starts to go insane.
So, basically, I want to find a portal that's close by as soon as possible.
Ideally, yes.
Works for me.
Well, then let us be on our way. It seems speed is of some relevance here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you will be heading back to
Yeah, to grab
where you left the body.
Yeah.
Okay, then we will jump to Dalen if he is
Yes.
here. Okay. So like I said, you had woken up restrained within the academy,
Yes.
or so you presume anyways. I mean, you've just been inside of it. It does seem like you're in the academy.
Yeah.
And after your little initial greeting, Hammett turns to one of the other members in the room. Move him to the interrogation room. I'll meet him there. And Hammett will leave the room.
So how many other people are in the room with me?
4.
And are
2
they
of
all...
which seem to be guards.
Okay. I assume I don't have my...
Sorry, you what?
I assume I don't have any of my weapons.
You do not know. All your weapons have been removed.
Not that with 1 HP I'd get very far, even if I did, but... well, this seems bad. Very, very bad.
You see one of the, seemingly they seem to work at the academy in some capacity. You see one of them pull out a very large needle. And they will turn to you. This will be a lot better if you don't move too much.
Why are you going to tranquilize me like your other wards downstairs?
Not quite. This is very short term. I believe Hammett wanted to speak with you as soon as possible.
That was the impression I got too. I don't suppose you'd be interested in just letting me get up and walk out of here.
Not at all.
Not even if I told you that His Heavenly Sovereign plans to destroy the entire world, and all of us within it.
Seems very unlikely. At that point, they'll stab you with the needle.
That's what I said, but, you know...
And very rapidly, you lose consciousness.
Yeah, not surprising.
When you wake up, you're in a very similar kind of restraint, except you are propped up, standing. Hands, legs, torso is all restrained. And you do see, when you are coming into consciousness, there is one worker standing out to the side, and at the center of the room is Hammett, seemingly pacing, waiting for you to come to consciousness.
I'll sort of clear my throat.
Good to see you're awake.
Yes, well, I thought we'd better get over.
Well, before I begin, do you have anything to say for yourself? A defense, if you will.
Sure. Not that I think you'll believe it for a moment, or even if you do, perhaps you won't care. But I am a patriot. I have given my whole life to this country and to its people. And so I am rather disappointed to find out that the ruler of this country is that destroying everything for greater power, including his own people, is something worth striving.
And who told you that?
I'll just sort of like nod at the vial hanging from my neck. It wasn't so much words as a demonstration.
Oh, yeah, so we'll get to that shortly. The vial is, there's a small table laid out kind of at the sides, slightly to the side of the center of the room, and several of your belongings are there, including the vial.
Okay.
And what power entity gave you these demonstrations?
The one within that vial.
And its name?
I will try and say Tathir.
You'll say it.
Cool, I'll say Tathir.
And you believe Tathir, that entity, over everything that you've experienced and lived in our great country?
Initially, no. No, not at all. But I know what I saw. I know it was real.
Visions can be manipulated.
Perhaps I kind of hope that I have been manipulated, that I've just been tricked somehow, but the creature tried to force itself on me and it was not able to. It had to meet me on my own terms, prove itself to me. That is as much proof as I could ask for. But if I have been tricked, please show me. I wish it wasn't true. It's no secret His Heavenly Sovereign desires divinity, godhood, whatever. This
I
seems to
wouldn't
just be the
say that
mechanism.
myself. In my experience, there's little need for divinity. Rather, his goals seem to be to eradicate the old, to hearken a new age, where we're no longer restrained and held captive by the gods' whims and fancies.
So he is trying to kill all gods.
All that would pose a threat, yes.
So it's true. Then I do not know what more we have to discuss. Even if I don't know what longer term effects killing the gods will have, and frankly I don't care. What I do know is that eventually they will take notice, and we will have provoked something far, far beyond us, and I think we'll be wiped off the map.
There are plenty of preparations, and, well, no need to get into specifics, but I wouldn't worry too much. We're prepared for a possible fallout.
I'm sure you are. And truly I am surprised that you would be so willing to go along with, given all that you've done for the country, and you seem to be willing to drag it into a war that we can't possibly win.
We've won before.
Not against God.
Yes, against the gods. Why do you think there are old gods?
I really don't know, but the old gods
used to be live amongst us on this plane, and any mortal had to serve them, whatever they thought was best, whether or not we agreed. Eventually, humans revolted, and while the conflict was deadly, it was won, and thus the old gods were, while not slain, removed from this plane, and we gained some level of independence. Of course, that could only last so long, and others replaced them, and we grew content to again serve others. So yes, you are not wrong. The path that His Heavenly Sovereign is seeking is indeed dangerous, and not without its cost, but it's one that has been deemed to be the most just.
Not for our people who are going to die needlessly. The gods have nothing to do with us here. They have no effect on our lives. Why do we care?
That's a surprising position to take. Just because they don't affect us does not mean that others aren't subjected to them. Shouldn't our goal be to free everyone?
Yes, but why do we have been freeing people without opposition from divine entities.
that will only last so long. Our foray into the mainland is limited at the moment. If we took any more direct action, there has been fear of retribution. It's part of why this plan was started in the first place, among other reasons.
I simply don't believe that that's possibly true. I have sailed around a large chunk of the world with the Navy, and even though other places aren't as well off as we are, the presence of God has never affected their ongoing lives, unless the specific priests try and do anything. It's not something that concerns us, not something that concerns our people.
Well, either way, convincing you is of little matter. And
I'm sure. I doubt it will make a difference in the long run, or that I shall be around to see whatever comes of it.
well, I will say that I'm disappointed you can't see it correctly. I've always esteemed your abilities highly, but it seems you've allowed yourself to be clouded by the outside world.
Maybe I have, but still doesn't change where my loyalties lie.
Last I checked, that should have been to Orthan, and seems you failed that.
It is to Orthan.
And yet you've joined a terrorist organization.
Orthan, not his heavenly sovereign. They are not the same.
That may be so. But your actions speak otherwise. You joined a terrorist organization that massacred dozens, if not hundreds, of civilians. Seems
I
counter.
haven't joined those fools. I will never join those fools.
You worked on their behalf. It's all the same in my eyes.
Our little excursion was nothing to do with it. It was to rescue Alice's friend.
And yet you were accompanied by these terrorists. Seems unlikely, the story you're giving.
I have not managed to go my career without learning that sometimes using one enemy to fight another isn't occasionally useful. One way or another, when this was over, I was absolutely going to see the heads of every member of that organization on a pike.
Be that as it may, you still worked with them and have caused a great amount of destruction.
I don't deny it.
And in the future, I would maybe be more careful in estimating your own abilities.
Well, whilst I hadn't planned to fight to the finish, and that creature definitely put a crimp in my style, it was too much. I was too what is the word? Too much warrior's pride to see how I would fare.
Well, I wasn't just speaking to your combat prowess.
Oh?
We were tipped off that the academy would be infiltrated. So it seems that maybe you were the one being used, not the other way around.
Tipped off? Tipped off by whom?
What seemed to be some kind of terrorist that decided to see that his actions were wrong and came to inform us.
Oof.
No, not the boy.
That's something, at least, though he's the only person I could imagine would be that contrary.
But it would seem
Very
that
well.
this infiltration at the academy was just a distraction.
Maybe. I'm happy to tell you anything you want to know about the organization. I care nothing for them. I hope you dismantle them. There will be somebody else,
Well,
and hopefully less civilian
I-
casualties along the way.
I intend to very much dismantle them, and very soon, and you will be the one to help me with that. Now, of course, if we want to be reasonable here, you can just give me the information now. Otherwise, as you may guess, there will be an unimaginable amount of pain to go along with that information.
I can very much imagine. I will tell you anything you'd like to know about the organization. I will tell you nothing of my immediate allies.
Oh, you will. In time. But there are more pressing concerns than your party. Although I will deal with every single one of them. Don't doubt that. I take your betrayal very personally. But
Well, where would you like to start?
their location would be a good start.
I do not know where my allies went, but as for the organization, more general headquarters, and I will proceed to describe in as much detail as I possibly can everything I know about the organization headquarters, apart from the place, the exit that we left from.
Okay. After you finished giving a
The
description
entrance
of it.
to the entrance to any tunnels and yeah.
Okay. After you give a description, he'll turn to you. And how would we gain access to this location then?
There were tunnels that can be excavated under the building that we were originally sent to, as well as tunnel entrances all over the cities. Were there any other tunnel entrances, tunnels we came to and from, other than the one we came out of tonight?
Yeah, you've used several before.
Yeah, I'll give him all of them. And I'll explain that they have the ability to collapse them very easily. And I'll tell him about Ilithar, I'll tell him about the traps, I'll tell him about the magic doors, I'll tell him everything. I can't win, I can't do anything. I'm not going to tell him about August, I'm not going to tell him about, the rest of the party specifically, but if I can direct him to Ilithar, I'll give him anything he needs to do that.
Okay, as you are telling this, he will motion towards the other person in the room who seems to start writing down a lot of the information you're saying. Ilithor, you say?
Yes, he says that he was a mage corralled in purges about 20 years ago. He has a rather nasty looking scar.
I know of him. We didn't quite know exactly where he had went, although it makes sense that he would lead this little terrorist group.
Yes.
He always seemed to think our dealings between us were not in his favor. He always seemed to leave with a sour taste, and
You've dealt
I
with him
guess he's
before.
taking it out now. Yes, not in a while. He's disappeared in the past 5 years or so. But we've dealt with him before.
He seems to suggest that he has been fighting you the whole time.
Well, people like to believe what they want to think, don't they?
I'm sure. Well, he has the Republic quite well infiltrated. So I truly wish you luck in dismantling his team. He is a despicable person, and his tactics fool me.
I'm sure he did what he felt necessary, but I would agree there are some prices that are best not paid.
That is ironic coming from you.
Well, I think most prices are worth paying.
I'm sure your wife is the same.
Tathir, I presume.
I actually remember, was it Tithira or was that Elithar?
I think that was Ilithar, actually.
Then no, that was Elithar.
The bastard.
By the
Well,
way, is he wearing full armor and his helmet still during this whole thing?
yes, he is. He even has his sword on his side. You've actually probably never seen him without his sword. Either.
I must say, that sword is much more fearsome than I had anticipated. I was not aware that the Republic made magic weapons.
Well, magic isn't probably quite the right word, but it's in the realm.
It certainly hit harder than any sword I've seen.
Well, we'll be verifying the information you gave us, see if those access points do exist. Be aware that if they don't, the price will be high for you.
I don't doubt it. I suppose they are pretty well surveilled. However, it should be easy to identify those responsible as they carry masks on the person to identify themselves.
Yeah. Well, I'll need to oversee that as quickly as possible to stop any further action. We'll resume shortly. And we'll be speaking about Tathir.
Feel free. I don't much like him either.
Before I
By the
leave,
way, what
yes.
was that? What was that creature? It when you killed me, it took my soul or spirit, or I don't have the words.
I'm not exactly sure. I'm not an expert on those matters.
Well, it's having great fun.
We're handling it.
I'm sure. How did you bring me back? I very much felt like I was dead.
You were. We resurrected you.
Resurrecting people was a god thing.
Well, like I said, there are benefits to the path we're seeking.
Very well.
Whether or not you can see them. I will say I'm very disappointed with, well, the positions you've taken. You were quite a candidate to become an Imperial Knight yourself one day.
I believe the feeling is rather mutual.
He'll kind of motion for the attendant to leave the room, and he'll kind of walk over to you before leaving. For the wife comment earlier, and he'll stab you in the stomach.
That puts me back to 0 hit points.
And then leave the room.
I'll just bleed to death here while he goes and does his thing. I'm sure they can bring me back whenever they like.
You will be tended to by one of the
Yeah.
attendants, so you're not dying.
Yeah.
But
I'll just be unconscious for a few hours.
Indeed. Okay, so jumping back to the rest of the party. At this point, the first rounds of long rest have finished. So that means you have finished your long rest, Alice, and about an hour after that, Kian, you would finish your long rest.
Cool. So we are officially level 10 now?
Yep, any benefits from the level up you would take now since you have finished a long rest.
Excellent. Okay. Probably the first thing I'm going to do is send a sending message to August. Pretty immediately, to say, August, where are you? We're back at the headquarters. Please respond to this message.
Roll me a D100. He is on a different plane.
Oh, 43.
It will go through. August, you will receive that message.
Hey, I'm alive. I'm in the astral sea. Still got the elf. Trying to find a way back.
Okay, you can roll a D100 as well to see if it gets back to him. Okay, yeah, it will go through as well. You will receive that, Alice.
Okay, I'll probably sit for like another 2 seconds, like what? And then I'll immediately go and find whoever else is awake, which might just be Kian.
It will just be Kian at the moment. The other two have still have a few hours left on a long rest. They will be sleeping.
Were we sharing a room? Or were we all in different rooms?
They gave you each a room.
I remember the last time, though, we all shared one room because we didn't trust them.
Yeah.
It seemed probably a little bit unnecessary this time, but you could have if you'd really wanted.
I will go find Kian wherever he is. Kian, are you good? Are you awake?
Yep. I don't go to sleep. Neither do you.
But that, you know what I meant. I just heard back from August.
Oh, what did he say?
He is in the astral sea.
What? Excuse me?
Yeah, and he still has Reardon, but he is in the astral sea.
How?
I don't know.
He still has Reardon.
Yes.
That's excellent news.
But he's in the astral sea.
Yeah,
And
I'm trying
I do
not to
not know
focus
how
on
to get
that
him
part.
back, and I don't know how he neglected to include that information, even though he had about 14 words left.
Did he say he needed help?
No? In fact, his tone was very casual.
Oh, I guess that's a good thing?
But I don't know how to get him.
I
Do
mean,
you know how to get to the astral sea?
no. I don't.
Okay.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. Let me quickly look at my spell list. I don't think I can get to the Astral Sea, but I can do
I really
weird
don't.
stuff.
I think it's like a 7th level spell.
I mean, Astral Projection is a 9th level spell. Plane Shift
Ooh.
is 7. Yeah, no, I don't think I can get him there. I don't think I can get us there. I
How
can
did he
call
get
things
there?
across plane. I presume in the academy, right? Because we know they had a portal.
Okay. We can't get him.
I think he's got to get home himself.
I think that'll be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, but we can't. We have no clue where he is in the Astral Sea, even if we can get to the Astral Sea. And that's a big if in the first place. So, the most important thing is we know we can communicate with him.
Yes. Although if he's in the astral sea, I believe that there's a small percent chance that my spell won't work. But yes.
It's better. We have way more information than we did yesterday.
Yes, he is alive, which is much better than I thought he would be. Which is dead.
Good. So then he and Reardon are alive, and hopefully they'll get back to this world at some point. Have we thought about running from this place? Because I feel like the longer Dalen is in their grasp, the closer and closer we get to this place being compromised.
We have discussed this, yes.
Okay, when are we doing that? I think it should be soon.
It was not actually something that was agreed upon, I don't think, because I am currently under the impression that perhaps if nothing is done, all of the planes will be destroyed and my home will no longer exist, which is antithetical to my entire reason for being.
Yes,
So I need to stop that.
you should stop that. And we should focus on surviving till tomorrow.
Yes. Which means
So-
we need to find Dalen and August like we previously planned to do.
Yes. So I am going to go to Elithor and get the supplies I need from him while I can.
If you can get any extra supplies, you should also do that. Because
Would you need things? Are there spell components that you need?
Let me double check, but I think I've been specifically making sure that there aren't.
'Cause I have a shopping list.
I mean, if you want to grab some extra bat guano, I've been using the same ball for a while.
This sounds like stuff that's unnecessary.
Make sure you get a little bit of extra iron powder, more
Alright.
pieces of cured leather.
Is there anything else you need from me?
No. No, I think I'm mostly good.
Okay. Do you need any spells?
If you can convince him to give you a large amount of that magical ink, that could be very useful later.
Okay,
Seeing as I have no money
I'll ask. Do you have spells that you need copied?
that I need copied.
Yeah, do you have uncopied spells?
What do you mean?
What magical ink are you talking about?
Oh, not currently, but for future use. I know
okay.
that he has spells here that I can learn.
Oh, okay.
I just don't currently have the documentation for it.
Alright. I'll ask him for all those things. And then, as soon as Devona and Oof get up, we should try and mobilize and get out of here.
Absolutely. I just wanted to tell you first because I thought you would be awake. I will tell them when they wake up.
Alright, perfect. If you hear anything else, or if anything else happens, make sure to keep August informed. Because we don't want him, coming back here if we're all dead or something.
Just in case, because I feel like I've been using this spell enough that it's been trivialized. I cannot cast this a very day, so
Yes.
only
I'm aware.
vital information.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go get this stuff now. Alright, I'll go find Elithor.
Okay. You do see him. He is in the central room. He seems to be looking over a very large schematic of something when you enter.
Ooh, that looks impressive.
Yes, it's something we're working on. Well, we've been working on for a while.
Alright. I think we can both agree there's no love lost between us. But I'm willing to concede that for the near future at least, I need to be more trusting if we're going to achieve our goals. So I would like to apologize for my brash behavior yesterday. Or 4 hours ago.
It's a very quick change of heart, but I suppose that, given the circumstances, it's for the best currently.
Like I said, I am not necessarily very trusting of you, but I'm willing to acknowledge the reality of the circumstances. And that me being difficult was making things more difficult.
Then, is that why you came here? For some reason, I doubt it.
No, but I felt like that would be germane to bring up before, I asked requests of you. Being humble is generally appreciated.
Followed by requests, the very common pattern, yes, of course.
Yeah, I mentioned it 4 hours ago. I really can't get used to how quickly I rest. How much diamond dust do you have?
We have a decent supply here. enough to probably fuel several spells that you would need.
I'll make my intentions plain. I would like some supplies so that I can cast the Greater Restoration spell, which obviously is a very useful tool, if costly. If I could get a gem that would allow me to reincarnate someone, I would greatly appreciate it. And then on top of that, if you happen to have a focus that could be used to scry through, I would really appreciate that as well. Because I need a crystal ball or a bowl or something that's worth 1,000 gold if I want to scry, and I don't have that capability either.
Well, what you're asking for is not cheap, and nothing in this world's free.
I understand, but I would like to also help you understand that, I am not a practitioner of small power. If you give me these things, I would be willing to use my abilities to your aid as well. I'm sure you don't have access to a lot of people who can bring people back from the dead, for example.
That would most likely just be me, yes.
So, if you would be willing to share, I would be willing to share my abilities as well.
And what would your thoughts be on some form of trade?
What kind of trade?
Well, I've seen the staff you carry around, and I have some interest in it.
My scepter?
Yes.
So you would want this in exchange for these components?
That would seem slightly unfair. I'd be willing to part with at least one of the items I've acquired over the years in exchange for the scepter and your supplies that you've asked for.
Do you know what this can do?
Some idea, yes, I identified it.
So then you understand that it is a very powerful boon, or a very powerful insurance against death.
Yes, that was the intention, and my interest, where my interest lies. But you may not necessarily want to part with that immediately. I have interest in a book you carry as well.
This is a powerful druidic relic, yeah?
Something in that realm.
Would you consider the book and the staff equal in their importance?
To some degree. Although I'd be willing to part with something a little bit more dear, I suppose, for the book.
Really? You consider the book more valuable?
It's a more direct route to escape death. The price for the scepter, well, is not pleasant.
It's not, but the scepter is a guaranteed method, and it is not something that requires much time to attune to. The book, on the other hand, takes at least a few weeks. I don't know when you're going to have a few weeks coming up to dedicate to bind yourself to it.
I always make time for study.
Oh, what if I give you both artifacts?
Well, I wouldn't say no.
Okay. We couldn't figure this out before. Alice, do you have the book or do I have the book?
Yeah. Let me check. I think you have the book.
Okay.
No, wait. I thought I remembered you giving it to me. Oh, no, I have it. I see it. Sarlin's book.
Okay. You wanted that to essentially try and resurrect Sarlin, right?
No, I wanted it to give it back to him once we bring him back.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll kind of bite my lip and say, I would offer the book first. But if I can't if I can't acquisition the book, I will give you my staff.
Seems fair enough. Well, I will get the supplies ready, but please see if you can ascertain it.
Oh, well, not. Also, could you throw some magic ink in there or something like that? I don't really know what Alisai needs, but the stuff wizards use to write their weird little notes.
Yes, and if she's unwilling to part with the book, give her the promise that there will be benefits in it for her as well. She seemed very interested in learning more magic, and I can give her that.
I'll nod and say I'll make sure she's aware. Okay. I'll go get my part of the deal and you get yours.
Very well.
Alright, I'll go find Alisai.
While he was doing that, I would have liked to do things that I have neglected to do for a while. I've got the Identify spell now, so there are a couple of things in my inventory that I don't know anything about.
Okay, okay.
At least one, that cursed runic ring we got that no one has identified for me.
Yes.
I cast Identify on that. I spend 10 minutes and use it as a ritual.
Okay, I will get you that. Is there anything else you would like to have identified currently?
Let me. Sarlin's book, because I don't actually 100% know what it does.
Okay.
And that bubbling black acid. I don't know if that's magical or not. Is that still bubbling? It's been like.
It is still bubbling.
Yeah, I'll identify that too.
Okay, so are you identifying all three?
And I think I have one of the eyeball vials. Or some of them, actually. I think I took all of the ones from Oof that we could find.
Fair enough. Are you identifying all of those things?
Yeah, that should take me like 40 minutes, right?
It will take you about 40 minutes for that, yes.
Yeah, so I probably get one thing done before Kean comes back.
I mean, if I see you in the middle of rituals, I'm not going to... Actually, no, I probably will disturb you. I am paranoid that at any moment we might be, like, found out and attacked.
Okay. The ring was first, so if I can get that done.
Yes. Yeah, I'll just send that to Discord because I'm realizing I don't have that item sheet. But in the items, you should see the entry for the Atlas of Forever, which is the item Sarlin had. And you should see the entry for. Just do that. You should also see the entry for the called Halfelin's Creed, and that is the jar liquid that you have.
The whole entry for that is a buff shirtless dude putting his hands in a jar.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay, just making sure.
I do have to edit that one.
He does have a really bad snake tattoo as well.
He does, yes. Okay, if you open it now, you should be able to see the rest of it.
Okay, so I'm just looking up from this as I'm like writing. I'm writing all of the information I'm getting down. Extra pieces of parchment I have when Sarlin walks in.
But yes, Kian will enter when you are pretty much just done with the identifying of the ring, which I'll send through Discord because I don't have the item sheet apparently on Roll20 yet.
Hey, Alisai.
Hi, can I help you with... I'm just talking as writing.
Yes. I talked to Illithor about getting all that stuff, and he was pretty open to it. Except he wants something in return. And he said that if I were to give him this thing, that not only could I get the stuff that I need, which would make me much more capable to help us as a team, but he would also be willing to give you some extra spells.
Uh-huh.
So, it seems like a pretty big win overall. He just wants the book. Sarlin's book.
Wait, is this, stop writing for a second? It's like, didn't you say that the same book you wanted to destroy?
Yep. I'm still not super happy about it.
I don't want to give this book to him.
I don't either. But at this very moment, we keep fracturing and we can't find each other. More than one of us has died. And I need to be able to help us. And I can't do any of those. All of those things I just said require very powerful spell components that I don't have access to.
Okay.
I can't think of a way around it. If you really want to keep the book, I understand. And there's an alternative solution that I can offer him, and I think he'll accept.
Give me a second. I just recently have, that spell that Oof cast to learn about items?
Mm-hmm.
I had been paying attention to how he's been casting it. I just figured it out just a couple of hours ago, so I've been working on that.
Oh.
And
well, that's good, but you'll know what things are.
Yeah, I'm currently trying to figure out exactly what this book is. I'm reading it right now. And I don't think we should give this to him.
Is there a reason why? We already think he's a bad dude.
Right, but then he'll be a bad dude that we have no chance of killing, even if we need to. Because I don't know if you saw Southern use it, but it is essentially immortality. With a price, but
listen,
really immortality.
Illithar feels like
you kind of get why Sarlin was so reckless now, right? Like, he didn't have much to worry about.
I mean, I guess we could burn his body and that would maybe stuff. I don't know. I'm still reading and talking at the same time, getting half this.
Listen, we're going up against an entire empire, essentially, that is trying to destroy multiple planes of existence. I don't think Illithar, even if he becomes immortal, is much of a threat in comparison to that.
That is what I have seen some of the magic. He's a very powerful spellcaster, perhaps more powerful than either of us. I have no idea what powers he has.
Apparently he can resurrect people. He told me that much.
That is something I have not been able to figure out despite numerous efforts. And he also has an incredibly high level ability to stop other people from casting magic. You were unconscious when that happened, but it happened.
I have no doubt. But I think it stands. He is still an enemy of Orthan. And
true.
Orthan's enemies getting stronger doesn't seem like the worst thing right now. And it would really help us. Especially since we're not using this book.
Can you give me some time to think about it? Maybe with Devona when she wakes up?
I don't think so. I'm sorry. I just have a really sinking feeling that this is, if we don't do this now, we'll never get the opportunity again.
Okay, then. I'll just sort of close my notebook and look over at him. It's like, Kian, I trust you, and I think that while I am I like to consider myself fairly smart. I feel like you have more wisdom than I do. I'll go with whatever you think is the best option.
Okay. I don't think this is a good option, but I think it's a necessary evil right now.
You think this is the best choice that we have available?
Yeah.
I'll hand you the book. I trust you.
All right. Thank you, Alice. And I'll remember this, and I will head back to Ilithor. Oh, before I leave, Alice, I need a little bit of your hair.
Okay, just without questioning it, do I have scissors? I don't think so. I'll pull out a dagger, and I'll just. How much hair? Do you need strands, or do you just need tips?
Just like a lock of it. Just in case if you die and I can't get to your body, I can resurrect you.
I'll hand you the dagger, and I'll say, "Here, you do it."
Oh, okay.
See.
I'll cut off a length of hair and put it in one of my pockets.
Do you need anything else?
Oh, that's it. I'll probably do this to Devona and Oof as well. But
Okay.
I guess August too? I don't know. I guess I need everybody's parts.
Does Dalen have hair?
I don't think so. I think he's hairless. He's got fingernails though.
Gross.
Yeah, druid magic isn't very glamorous. Anyway, I'll leave that and head back to Ilithor.
I'll continue identifying when he's gone. But I think that's everything.
Yeah. Did you get the ring?
Yeah. Well, you sent it to me on Discord, so
Yes.
I still need to read all of that.
I'll be giving a full rundown of that, but that's the gist of it, so you had an idea there. When you do return, Kian, you do see Ilithor. He's pretty much in the same spot. You do see at this point, you probably weren't paying close attention to the situation, but it is the same blueprint in front of him, but it has clearly changed in scope and size and dimension.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, old friend, old pal.
I don't think we're either of those, but continue.
Ilithor just sounds so formal. What do your friends call you?
Ilithor. It is my name. I was given it at birth. Generally works.
Alright. I'm gonna call you Illy.
Please don't, but continue.
Well, maybe you'll let me after I give you this, and I take out what is it called? The Atlas of the Plains?
Atlas of Forever.
Atlas of Forever.
You're able to persuade her then?
Yes. As long as you keep up your end of the bargain, we're willing to give this to you. Before I hand it
my end of
over,
the bargain is not me allowing you to call me Illy.
no, that's a negotiable part of the deal if you want.
Yes.
I would be willing to give up everything else if you let me call you Illy.
I'll think about it.
Ilithor, can I be frank with you? What are your intentions if we succeed at defeating Orthan? What is your long-term goals? Because with this book, you will become a very dangerous person.
You misinterpret me. I have no intention of using the book for any personal gain here. I'm interested in it for a dear friend.
Oh, I don't suppose you'd be willing to tell me which friend that is, and if his name is Tathir.
No, his name is not Tathir. It's a childhood friend.
Can I make an insight check?
You may. He seems to be telling the truth.
And this childhood friend was someone you met when you were taken by the Orthan Republic?
I knew him before, but he was with me in the prisons, yes.
Have I met him? Or her?
I mean, I don't believe so.
Okay.
They've been dead for about 15 years.
Wait, what? How are you going to use the book then? It only works for living people, I think.
Yes,
I
I
don't actually know that
have
much about it.
I have some interest in its effects, but I believe in studying it, I could hopefully apply some of the magic. See, her death wasn't natural. It was at the hands of a brutal process of the Orthan Republic at the time. And it resulted, instead of a normal death, her soul was sent into the plains to be lost forever. And I believe, with enough research in this book, I could find some access to those plains.
Oh,
And ideally find them again.
I mean, that's much less sinister than I thought it would be. Still doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me, but, pick your battles. So, I'll just put
I
the
have no intention of trying to live forever. One life is enough, in my experience, so far at least. It has been a long one.
Can I ride off that last insight check and make sure that is he sincere about that?
He does seem sincere. He doesn't seem to be intending to use this for personal gain.
Can you make me a promise then? That I think you'd be amiable to, given that you are in agreement that one life is enough. Would you destroy the book when you're done with it?
That seems fair. Yes. I think I could agree to that. Whether or
Fine.
not I succeed, I will destroy it once I've exhausted all possibilities.
All right. Well, I'll put the book down and slide it across the table to him.
I thank you. Now, here are the supplies that you asked for. He brings forward he has one of his men bring forward a small chest, and it is filled with supplies and some extra that you asked for.
All right. Thank you. I believe you also mentioned you might be willing to part with something that you've collected along these years.
Yes, I would. Although I wasn't exactly sure what would interest you. Was there anything in particular you were looking for?
I mean, I don't know what you have access to. I'm a druid and a spellcaster. Probably don't have very many druidic things, but anything that would make me a more competent spellcaster was always welcome.
Well, I have some items that may be of some interest to those with a more natural mind. Would you be at all interested in... He'll kind of pull out he'll move to the back of the room. There are several chests there, and he'll pull out a rather ancient-looking staff.
What is it?
It's a staff with access to planar elements. It seems that could be of some interest to someone like you.
Yeah, I'm bumping into these planes more and more. If this is what you think would suit me best, I'll trust your judgment in terms of matters of the arcane.
Well, let me just... Well, it seems that I think this would suit you, of course. I don't exactly always have the best for you. We have not exactly known each other for very long. But, those are its effects, by the way. I'll just send it to you, John. for now, you can read through it. If you would prefer something else, we can work it out. But it is what I think we had talked about a little while ago. But
Yeah. No, I think this might be a good choice. I think you also mentioned potentially Alice having access to some new spells. Is that in that box as well?
no, she can speak with me personally.
I'll arrange for her to talk to you.
Generally speaking, it's not a wise idea to throw possibly dangerous spells just into a box.
I don't understand wizards, okay? I don't use these spell books. I just kind of know how to do this stuff.
Yes, fair enough.
Thank you. And I'll
Also,
take
as
this
soon
staff.
as the rest of your party is awake, please bring them here as soon as possible.
I will.
Thank you.
And I'll take my new toys and walk out. But I'll take a little peek inside the chest and just see how much stuff is actually in there.
It's a pretty sizable amount of materials. Specifically, you had asked for, I believe, the item to scry through. There is a small crystalline ball that could be used for that.
Okay.
There's probably about somewhere in the range of $400 to $500 worth of gold worth of diamond dust.
Perfect.
What else did you ask for? Sorry.
I need a gem for reincarnation. Or sorry, I
And-
need rare oils and ingredients.
Okay, those will be in there as well then.
Just enough for one, I assume?
That one's just enough for one. That one's pretty expensive
I
too, isn't it?
Alright.
But yeah.
I'll put that stuff. I'll take it out of the chest and make sure it's on my person. And then I will find Alice and just inform her that, if she wants extra spells, go and talk to Ilithar personally. And that when everyone wakes up, we need to go talk to him.
Okay, just to make sure, because I feel like I should offer this. You wouldn't perhaps want to be larger and be really good at grabbing things and maybe more tougher in exchange for a lifetime of pain. Is that something you would be interested in?
Excuse me, what?
Is that something you'd be interested in?
To be honest, I think you know who that item was intended for.
I think I do, but I don't think he actually needs it. I think he already has advantage.
I already have a congenital disease, Alice. I don't think I need a lifetime of pain on top of that, but thank you for the offer.
Okay, that's fine. I think August might be interested, but I'm not. I mean, okay. Just continue writing.
I'll go
I do
take
enjoy
a
the fact
short
that
rest.
item has just been sitting in the party for months now.
I thought it was acid!
Okay, at this point, the rest of the party could be finishing their long rest as well. You'd finish your short rest, Kian. You'd have finished all the identifications, Alice.
So I just have one more question. About that ring, do I have any idea the time frame on that that negative detriment is? Because that sounds like something I would like to wear, but it sounds really bad.
Basically, in the beginning, it would all be short-term effects and progress into long-term and eventually indefinite effects.
Okay, and it's like compounding, like getting
It
worse.
does compound. Yeah, it gets worse until you basically lose your mind.
Okay, cool.
But once you've lost your mind, you have access to all of it.
That doesn't sound useful. Do I know if taking it off helps?
Taking it off will stop any further progression, but not remove anything that's already happened.
Okay, I'm gonna put on the ring.
Is this a cursed item?
You're asleep. It's all fine. But I think so.
It is cursed, technically, yes.
Yeah, it's super cursed. I mean, does one of you remove curses? I'll ask that when everyone wakes up.
with the identifier, you know if the curse was removed, it would remove the entity that lives inside of it, which would remove its effects. But yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say, as of right now, I'm.
But the time scale is not like super rapid. But if you wear it for a while, you'll figure it out. Don't worry. But I'll give you a full list of all the effects, and the progression it has a high price, but some of the higher level things you could do once you've gone mad are quite powerful. So just keep that.
Just
in mind.
let me know when something happens. I'm keeping an eye out for it.
Yeah, at this point, though, everyone is waking up.
Okay. Oof, Devona, we're all in the same room now, right?
Yeah, I would presume so.
Good morning. I hope your human rest was good. I heard from August. He's alive in the Astral Sea. That's a whole can of worms. There've been Keen, actually. How was the talk with Illithor? Did you get what you needed?
I did. And I can now reliably cast Greater Restoration, Reincarnate, and Scrying. So
that's good.
That's really good for us.
Do you need any hair from anybody before?
Yeah. Devona and Oof, if you guys have any like spare hair or fingernails.
Spare hair?
Yeah. Like, you're just like, God, I've had these bangs for so long. The bangs look is so last season. You just wanted to give me some of that hair. And it is so that I can resurrect you if you die.
You know what? It's been a while that I've been wanting to try the side shaved head.
Sure. Yeah.
Alright. Let's do that.
Alright. I will take a bit of Devona's hair. Probably give her a really bad haircut. Oof. Would you be willing to give me some of your hair?
Can I just give it to you?
Yeah?
Okay, well, here, have some partially shaved pubic hair.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Alright, I'll... Just to be clear, I have little vials for each of the people. They're not all just going in one, thing, so I lose track of whose hair is whose.
I would also like to be clear, did you pull that out of your pocket, or did you have that pubic hair ready, or?
Never know when you're gonna need it.
Okay.
Alright.
Interesting. Okay. I guess I'll for Devona as well. A big, strong person. Would you like to be bigger? And would it be worth suffering maybe a lot of pain?
What?
If you could be bigger than you are, but it may hurt every day of your life, would that be worth it to you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Just asking.
I mean, I'm pretty strong, I think, as I am right now.
I think you're very strong. I just wanted to, give you the option.
But I thought you could make me bigger whenever you wanted, anyways.
I can do that, but this would be a permanent thing. It would hurt. It would hurt a lot, actually, initially, and then it would hurt a bit always.
Always is a long time to be suffering.
Yes, I agree. So, should we go talk to Illithor then? I mean, are you guys fine? You guys have woken up and you're well rested with your human rest, and you don't need to do anything?
I'm good.
I mean, I'm good as well. Probably should grab something to eat on our way to Ilthor.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that I need to eat. I am hungry.
Oh, here. I'll cast Good Berry. And just
Oh.
give you a Good Berry.
Thank you. Somehow that berry has all the fibers and nutrients you need for.
Mhm.
Like, how big is it? Like,
I
I've
mean,
heard different descriptions from like a blueberry to like a.
I imagine them as like blueberries. Anyone else want some Soylent Green?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Good old Soylent Green.
Side note: Walmart does now sell Soylent.
Also, if you guys want some, actually, this might be good. I'll give everybody also another Good Berry and tell them don't eat it. You can put it in someone's mouth and it will wake them up if they're unconscious. That's not a big deal.
Incredibly useful.
Probably for Devona or Oof. I think you can cast Cure Wounds Oof. But it's useful if you don't want to spend a spell slot or waste other things. It'll rot by tomorrow, so.
Oh, also, just one other thing before we move on. If you think that I'm acting irrationally or in a manner that you would describe as insane, could you let me know? Thank you.
What?
Just, if I'm acting in a way that doesn't make any sense, just let me know, and I'll be sure to correct that behavior.
I would say you're acting in a very weird way.
Now does not count. Starting from.
Isn't that what something
Thank you.
someone who was crazy would say?
No. Listen, I've been doing a lot of research. I've discovered a lot of new magic, and I'm very excited about it. But I'm also being cautious. And my friends, I would just like you to keep an eye on me.
Do you need help? I have
No.
spells prepared.
Not at this moment.
Since we
But I
had
will let
trouble
you know.
with being insane.
Are you delving into some dangerous magic?
I think all magic is a little dangerous, but I am being as, which is why I'm trusting you, my friends, to help me out with this.
Very
Okay.
well. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for you.
Thank you.
All right. Kian will go over to.
Sorry, what? That cut out a little bit for me.
I'm going to find Elithor. We've had enough weed for today.
Yeah, we're all going together, right?
I assume.
Okay, when you get there, Ilithor seems to be waiting for you. Good to see everyone awake and ready. We have much to discuss. Please sit down.
I've got a seat. Just curious, does he have like 4 seats ready?
He does.
Okay.
There are many seats in the room, but he has put 4 by his desk. Now, the first note, probably the most pressing, is that our location is compromised. It seems that Dalen probably is alive and has given us the information.
That is good and bad.
He cracked pretty quickly.
Yes, it seems your friend is not particularly strong-willed. Although I will not fault him much in that department. Orthan can be
I
Quite brutal.
fair to Dalen. I don't think that he is weak-willed. I think he's loyal to Orthan in his heart, and maybe they've convinced him this is the right thing to do again.
If that is the case, then that is only bad news.
Well, I'm glad he's alive. Despite whatever he has told them, he is a good person.
We've already started collapsing all the outer tunnels, so we should be safe for now, but it is only a matter of time.
Do you
Did
have,
they
is there- are there
discover-
still
Sorry, what?
are there still routes to escape? You said you're collapsing all the outer.
There's still some emergency tunnels, but that brings me to the main proposition. Was there another question, Devona?
The tunnel that we used to go to the academy, is it still safe to use?
Does not seem they found that one yet. We haven't collapsed it yet. We've only collapsed anywhere we've seen or spotted Orthon representatives coming near.
Then I believe Dalen is still with us.
A good point. Not one I would bank on yet, but now, like I said, it is only a matter of time before they'll reach us. We probably have bought a good amount of time, but obviously it is an issue. We have had contingency plans being prepared for a while now in case we're ever found, as we expected eventually Orthon would find us. It is only a matter of time after all. Now, none of you have to stay, of course. Although, as we have already discussed, I believe our interests at the moment are quite aligned.
I would like to get August and Dalen back.
Yes. Well, we have preparations prepared and complete to shift the core of our compound into another plane.
Which plane?
Specifically, we're thinking of transitioning to a plane. We have several access points. The one that seems most readily available currently for our interests will most likely... Let's see. We will most likely be transitioning into the shadow.
Okay. Instead of that, might I offer of alternatives? If you can go do other plans, would it be possible for this place to go into the astral sea?
Possible, yes, but there's severe risks in doing so.
Would it be possible for this plane
To what?
to the Feywild?
All access points have been lost since about 6 months ago to the Feywild.
That seems fair. What does that mean?
There seemed to be some kind of event, probably tied to you and your people, whatever occurred there, that severed our connection to the Feywild currently. It's unstable and dangerous.
Fairly important information I was not told of.
Well, you never asked.
Our
This-
current information leads us to August is in the astral sea.
Well, that is worrisome.
If we could go there, it might be easy to retrieve him. I don't know exactly the method that you're using.
The
Would
astral
that
seas
be-
will not be a long-term solution to this issue.
No, but if we could go there and pick him up, I don't know what kind of situation he's in, but I am worried about him because I'm not sure if he knows anything about the. As you know, quite dangerous.
We only have enough resources at the moment for one shift.
What do you need?
We only have enough resources to shift to one plane and back currently.
What resources do those require?
Well, there's a significant amount of arcane crystals required for the process.
I would like to get our friend, but if we go to the Shadowfell, which, by the way, do I know anything about the Shadowfell, or should I roll something?
Arcana check.
Okay. Yeah, if we go to the Shadowfell, I am very worried about if any of our allies will be able to find, especially August, if he does escape the astral. And I don't want to go to the Shadowfell.
Wait, is Dan?
What?
Oh, am I breaking up?
Kian is breaking up. And I think he was going to say something.
It did sound like he was about to say something. But maybe not. Who knows? Oh, there he goes.
Hello?
Hey.
Okay, cool. Why are we talking about going to the Shadowfell?
Because they mentioned that's what they want to do.
Oh, what is that? Is Dalen there?
No.
I don't think so.
Why are we going to the Shadowfell? I'm confused.
To hide from Orthan.
Yes, they're gonna hide their headquarters into the Shadowfell.
Oh wait, we're gonna planarly shift this entire headquarters.
Do you have the knowledge to planar shift it? Can you share? I mean, that's a discussion for later. First off, I just want to ask, with a 25, what exactly do I know about the Shadowfell? I don't want to assume things.
Okay, it's not a pleasant place at all, but
Okay.
I mean, it is. The Shadowfell functions somewhat similarly to the way it does in, I think, just standard D&D. It's kind of it's like the opposite or the counterpoint to the Feywild. Instead of like life and wild, it's like death, bleak desolation. But in the sense of what they're doing, it would be a lot harder to find them in the Shadowfell, given that there's a lot of energies and magic in it, so it'd be hard to find anything in it. And of all of the easily accessed planes, the ones that are closest, I mean, they're all dangerous. The Astral Seas, the Feywild, and of course, they can't really get to Feywild. And even even some of the elemental planes are quite dangerous to be in, since they're quite chaotic and can shift significantly. And so this would be a plane that would be dangerous, but a kind of a calculated risk from what you know of it.
I see the logic in going to the. I wish to be there. It is, from everything I understand, bad to be if you are alive.
If you were to shift to the Shadowfell, would you still be able to go back to this plane?
Yes. I mean, we have no intention of staying there, just long enough to make preparations so that when we shift back, we'll be in a different location in this plane. We've had a secondary base built, or we were working on it. It's not entirely finished, but it should be stable and suitable enough for the transition and guarantee us safety for now, if nothing else. Like
And how long would it take to go there and back?
We're not entirely sure. It could be a day, several days. It's hard to say. It should take us no longer than a week, though.
How do we get back to this world if we all go to the Shadowfell?
The same process will be used to bring us back to this plane.
So we're just gonna hide out and leave Dalen and August for dead?
Well, like I said, we bought some time with the collapse of the tunnels. Probably enough to try to commit to some mission to save Dalen at least. I believe there is no easy way of solving our issue with August if he is in the astral seas.
Okay. So we rescue Dalen, get back here, and then I'll zip back to the Shadowfell.
That is what I'm proposing, yes.
We should then inform August that we will be going to the Shadowfell. Maybe he'll be able either to somehow join us there or wait outside of the city until we come back.
I would highly recommend that you do his own. While the astral seas, are dangerous in and of themselves, his chance of survival on his own in the Shadowfell is also very slim.
I can let him know as soon as we've decided on a solid.
I've made several calculations, and it does seem to me that the Shadowfell is our best bet. Obviously, the Feywild may have been better, but it's not an option currently.
But I'm just curious, this magic that you're using, why is the Feywild not an option? I mean, I'd love to go over with you the notes sometimes about this and the whole planar transference. Just for right now, why can't we go there?
Well, the traditional means of planar travel consists of several connection points in the world between our planes and the planes that surround us, the material plane. Currently, the connection between us and the Feywild is completely dissevered.
As in, there's no way to get to the Feywild at all?
As in, the traditional channels aren't working. That does not mean there is no way.
But you don't know if there is.
I've looked into it in my own time, in my own research, although I am no expert. Not entirely, anyways. I believe there are some access points left, but they're few and far between, and I don't have time right now to find them.
Okay.
Is there not another plane that doesn't sound as ominous as the Shadowfell that we might be able to go to?
The planes that directly surround us at the current moment are the Shadowfell, the Feywild, the Astral Seas, and the Elemental Chaos.
Oh, the Elemental planes. Those are great places.
Unstable and dangerous in my limited experience.
Isn't there... Like, don't ghosts live in their own world? Or is that the Shadowfell?
Ghosts live in the Shadowfell, some at least.
I thought that there was a world, like, right next to ours. Where, like, invisible creatures lived. But I might just be thinking of the Shadowfell.
That is a part of the Shadowfell.
Well, alright. I guess we're going to the Shadowfell.
Like I said, I cannot ask of you of something that might not be something you want. You have no obligations to go with us, but I cannot promise your safety if you don't.
What would be our chances of survival if we just went out of the city?
Well, depends on if you could get out of the city. The entire city is on lockdown. No one in or out.
I think we could get out if we needed to.
It's not impossible. I'm sure you could. But like I said, I couldn't guarantee your safety in any real way. The streets are militarized. if you ran into anyone, your chances of survival would not be high.
You just learned a new spell, Alice. Did you learn any other new spells, like teleport out of the city spell?
Potentially, if we can get close enough to the edge of the city.
And Alice, you know how to protect us from like divination magic, right?
Only if we remain in the. I can ready that.
Well then, it sounds like we have what we need to protect ourselves from being found. Once we make it into the woods, I feel like I could probably do a pretty good job of keeping us safe as well.
But that doesn't. I mean, running away is not the issue. We need to deal with what is happening here.
Well, I think plan number one is just regroup right now. Get Dalen, get August, and then figure out how we're going to take on Orthan after that. So do we do that with them in the Shadowfell, or do we do that on this plane?
I will be entirely clear to go to the Shadowfell. I understand why it is suggested. It is a logical plan, but it is one that scares me.
Why? Why would it scare?
The Shadowfell is a place of death and dark magic. It is the easiest way I can describe it is the exact opposite of the place where I come from. And that in itself is extremely worrying. I am afraid of that place. I do not want to go there.
Then we stay here. We will hide out, and while the rest of this organization hides and keeps itself safe, we will be covert agents and do our best to stall Orthan while they are away.
I feel like several times we were pointed out and stealthy in any way.
I understand that, but we don't really have any other choice. Like, if they leave the Shadowfell, no one's going to be here to oppose Orthan, and they'll just be able to progress however they want. Someone's got to stop them, or at least stall them.
You're right.
What
And I will
be
do
able
everything I
to do
can.
on ourselves, though?
We
I
can
don't
get our
know.
friends.
Get
I
our
think,
friends?
yeah, I think we can get our friend. Maybe.
I mean,
We'll
I
have to
think
find out more information, but August, I'm fairly certain he found a portal in the academy, because there's no way he could have gotten to the Astral Sea by himself. So to get him, we may need to remain near the academy. And Dalen seems to be there too. And while I'm sure the academy will have increased guard, they cannot possibly think that we would be this soon, right?
Can you ask August how he managed to make his way to the Astral Seas?
I would like for everyone who has a question, message for August to write spellcast. So why don't we all figure out what we want to say to August?
How he
It
went
has
to
to be
the Astral
25
Seas?
words or less.
we might also want to ask when he is coming back.
And if he has a way to come back. And if he needs our help to come back.
How did you get to the Astral Sea? Can you come back? Do you know how? I got 3 words left.
How are you?
Need help?
Oh no, I got 8 words left. 8 words.
Oh.
Do you need our help?
Do you need our help? Does anyone have
Alternatively,
one more word?
we could ask him if he thinks that me and Hammond are friends.
1 word, Kian.
Oh,
Love.
love. Okay, I sent that message. Do you remember it? How did you get to the Astral Sea? Can you get back? Do you need our help? Love. And you know it's from Alice.
Do a 100. Do 100.
Okay, will I know if it fails?
I do not believe so.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
And
I just-
presumably, he would not respond, and it would.
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't respond, either his failed or yours failed. I mean, no, it's a 1 to 5 that would cause it to fail.
Okay, that's good. And I already cast it once today, so damn, I'm almost out of 3rd level spell slots, guys.
What would you like to respond with, August?
Alright, so just can I get a repeat of those questions real quick?
How did you get to the astral plane? Do you know how to get back? Do you need our help? Love.
Okay. There's a portal in the academy, but make sure Tathir doesn't get access to it. Yes. No. Okay.
Oh shit, what was that yes and no?
Yes was to. Does he know how to get back? No was does he need our help? Okay was apparently because he doesn't love us.
Okay, I will repeat his message verbatim to everyone.
Alright.
I mean, I think okay is he accepts our love, which is a strange concept in and of itself.
They didn't have love in the Feywild? They had to have love in the Feywild.
It is a concept, but it's not.
It's the way to end the message.
A sign off, I guess.
Messages just end with like the end of the message.
Like, when you write it and you say, best regards, or something like that. Sometimes you just say, "Meh," and then end your message.
Once you've kind of gone through that, Ilthor will turn to you. Were you successful at communicating with your friend?
Yes. He says that he knows how to get back, and
Well, then that's one problem solved.
but that definitely doesn't mean he can.
I think that's a bit ambitious to say that it's solved, but it's definitely closer to being solved than the whole Damon debacle.
Yes.
I
Now,
suppose.
yeah, just to make sure everyone knows all of our options. As far as Dalen is concerned, I have been looking into some more ambitious magic, and I can teleport short distances. So if we
How
can get within,
short distances?
if we can get within 500 feet of,
Okay, that's pretty good. So we just
How
have to get
many
within
can
500
you
feet of it.
teleport with you?
I can bring one other person with me. So it would be if we can get within 500 feet there, and then I can bring him back with me. But I can do this a maximum of 5 times a day, which seems like a lot now that I say it.
That means you can't
Really
cast
does.
other high-level spells.
Yes, but that is that would be using almost all of my arcane energy for the day. Speaking of, by the way, Illithor, I don't suppose you happen to have a wand I can borrow? I'm tired of carrying around bat guana and feathers.
I presume we would have one to spare if you would prefer that.
I think it might be better to have backup.
Now, before we continue, I will need an answer. Like I said, we can help at least in the next few hours if you were going to try to retrieve Dalen in some capacity. But after that, we will be making our move as time is short. So I would just need an answer if you would be coming back or if you're going to try to make it in the city yourself over these next few days to a week.
I think we should stay.
I will agree with Kian.
And I think we should use that time productively and try and dismantle some of Orthan's hierarchy.
You make it sound so easy.
Yeah, well, very specifically, I have a target in mind for us to try and pursue while we are here waiting.
I just want to make sure that that target that you have is not a friend.
Pardon?
Like, is that a part of the plan, you being Hammett's friend? That's not...
No, quite the opposite. I think that while we're in the city and we're waiting for this terrorist organization to come back, I think we should try and kill Imperial Knight Hammett.
That's ambitious, but
I know.
I won't pretend that that's not something.
Well, we
the
don't know a
last
lot
3
about
days.
Orthan. We don't know a lot about their plans. We don't know how to be very productive without Illithor to give us information. We know for a fact that Imperial Knight Hammett is a powerful tool that they wield.
Now, I will say, this is an individual offer that I'm saying. This doesn't have to be a party decision. If one of you would like to stay with us over the duration, that is an option as well.
I guess
We're
we'll give
not
the option
separated.
to Dalen if he wants it, but
And you, Oof, if you aren't coming back, would you prefer leaving your construct with us or taking it when you leave?
Papa's gonna stay with me as much as possible.
Well, if you take him, hiding out in the city will be, I will argue, almost impossible, but it's up to you.
nope, that's not up to you. If we're hiding out in the city, Papa has to go with them to the Shadowfell.
Say that again.
I said if we're gonna hide out in the city, you either need to find a place to stash Papa, or you need to give it to them, because we can't hide with Papa.
I don't suppose there are any rivers nearby, are there?
There's a river at the center of the city that runs through it.
That's no good. Alright. So, can you take Papa with you and bring him back?
Yes.
And you promise to do so?
To the best of our ability, we have no intention of staying in the Shadowfell ourselves, obviously.
Do you have a way to contact us once you come back?
That is a good point. I will be leaving you with with this, and he'll hand you it's a small, kind of, little bit rusted medallion. It's a family heirloom. If I need to find you when we get back, I should be able to find you through that.
Very well. And Devona will put it on, I guess? What does it look like?
It's hard to make out, but it seems to be some kind of image. It's silver, although clearly not particularly pure, and the emblem seems to be of some kind of raven, possibly some kind of house crest.
Alright. She'll tuck it under her armor.
Now, like I said, we have several hours. If there's anything you would like from us in getting Dalen, just let us know. Otherwise, I would advise leaving within the next few hours if you would plan to not be coming with us.
So, do you want to get your spells from him?
Do you have any knowledge that you could impart upon me that I may write down in a book?
Yes, I do, although anything of greater power won't be reasonable in a shorter period of time, as you're probably well aware.
Of course.
I could give you some now, or if you'd prefer, you could wait till we're back, and I could work out something maybe more powerful. Prepare.
If there's anything you have that might be helpful, what we're about to undertake, I would appreciate it.
Well, the only thing that comes immediately to mind is utility, but it seems like you have a fair deal of that.
Is there a particular spell that I could?
Is there a particular spell you're looking for?
Let me scroll through. Not that I remember now, but I'm sure there was one. You know, well, actually, not a lot of these Orthan people do they?
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? If he could teach me, the tiny hut, Liamon's tiny hut. I don't know if he knows that or if we have enough time for that.
He does not know that spell. It's not particularly relevant to his skill set.
Yeah. I
He
don't
could
suppose we
teach
have.
you talk with dead. Probably not something you really want. Speak with the dead.
Banishment? There was that horrible monster. I don't know.
Not something you can use. He knows banishment. I don't think you have time for banishment.
Could he just like write it down and like?
Yeah, could you give me the book and the monster again and not be able to send it back to whence it came?
He could give you a book with the spell banishment in it, yes.
Can he also give me the ink that I would need to copy it? Because we are broke as hell.
Actually, I'm really rich right now. If I don't mind giving rid of my components.
I have 13 gold.
I have 50 gold.
I mean, I don't think that matters because I don't think anyone will sell anything to us anyway.
No,
Yeah,
definitely
by
not.
the way,
but I need spell.
yeah, I was gonna say, by the way, Devona will look at Ilthor and ask him, do you have any items or magical, maybe, that could help us in our, well, trying to be discreet, being stealthy, trying to blend in the city?
Oh, sorry. I just remember. Disguise self. Can you teach me that? Can I learn
Yes.
that spell?
I don't know if it's a wizard spell, but I'll double check for you. It is.
Everything's a wizard spell.
Yeah, okay. I don't know that spell, and I think that'd be. Sorry.
He could teach you disguise self right now. It's a level 1 spell. So
Yes. That one.
okay, he'll give it over and give you the same materials. So
Sorry. Devona's request.
in that realm, probably not. I can give you the location of several safe houses that we've used in the city prior. I can't guarantee they haven't been compromised.
Well, Dalen didn't know about them, right?
No, but I'm sure they've captured other of our members before. So like I said, we haven't used any of them recently, which may be safety in itself. But
Are there any that like only you or your most trusted know about, so that it limits the probability that they've been compromised?
one, yes.
All right, let's try there then first.
There are a, shall I say, excessive amount of defenses there. It'll be very difficult to get in without me.
Oh well, you can just stay with us and.
I have no intention of doing that. My people need me here to oversee.
Any way to disable the protections?
Well, I could go with you there. It'd be risky. But then we wouldn't have much time for me to dedicate any resources to helping you with Dalen.
No, Dalen's definitely the priority. Can we survive the defenses? Like, is there a way? Is it possible for us to get in there if they're up?
I could share all the defenses with you so you'd have some idea. Survival, though, I did arm it to the point where I could protect myself against an Imperial Knight. So keep if you think you could survive that.
Oh gosh.
No, I could not.
And there's no like turn all of the defenses off like spell or something.
Hidden button, perhaps?
Code word?
No, it is only triggered by me. So.
All right. Well, it doesn't sound like this place will be very useful to us then.
Like I said, I could go with you if you want, but there
No.
would be little time for Dalen, so.
We need to get Dalen out.
Well, I did have a second proposal, but I have a feeling you won't approve of it.
What is that?
Well, you informed me Tathir's with Dalen, most likely, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, another preparation we've been making would be to return the vial to its original plane, therefore giving Tathir access to his original form, and then bringing him into this plane.
No.
Hard pass on that one.
It would be very easy to secure Dalen if you agreed, but I imagined you would not approve.
He is extremely untrustworthy, so...
How is it any easier to get to Dalen if we agree? Like, it seems like it's just as hard to get to him whether or not we are going to get the file.
Well, like I said, some of his contents were kept here. Which...
Oh! So Tathir would help us rescue Dalen.
Yes.
No.
Fair enough. I just wanted to give the offer, if nothing else. It would make the mission severely less life-threatening for us, but I figured your party would not be particularly interested in that currently.
It's okay, I can resurrect us if someone dies.
And if you die?
And if you're captured and put into prison for the rest of your life.
That also won't happen.
Devora, you will just have to be the one that brings us back to life, using your druid powers.
I don't have druidic powers. How many times do I have to tell you that?
She's not as confident in her druid magic as...
I'm certain that if the hour of need comes, she'll come through.
Just give me some time. I've been looking really hard at the idea of resurrection, and I haven't made a breakthrough. With some time, I think I could.
Also, I can technically give one of you guys my resurrection spell. So, if one of you wanted the ability to bring someone else back to life, that is something I can do.
I think it would be a good idea to have it prepared in advance, just in case we need to bring you back.
Alright, I didn't prepare it today, but in the future I'll prepare it and perhaps give it to someone less likely to die. Do keep in mind that if you can cast it, I can't cast it, so.
Let's you teleport.
Well then, we're in agreement that we will help you try to secure Dalen in the next few hours, and then we will be journeying into the Shadowfell without you. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently that's what we're gonna do.
Like I said, if any of you end up returning or would prefer to return, the option is open, but otherwise, you will be on your own for at least a little while. Okay, and we will cut to August. At this point, you've gotten back to that initial kind of outpost, and the body is still there.
I'll fireman carry him. Yeah. So, where's the nearest portal out of here then? Aside from the one can't enter, you know?
The nearest one's about a day's journey.
Is that gonna be super bad for my mental health?
Super bad, no. A little bad, yes.
Alright. And do you have an idea of where this portal will end up at?
It is one I'm familiar with. That's why I've chosen it. It will lead us to... We'll end up, if I'm correct, at the northern end of this island of Orthan.
Fair enough. Let's get a move on then.
There. And then the child will start heading off, basically, into the astral seas.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Alright. After a few hours of walking past, you do feel some movement coming from a certain body that you are carrying. Seems that he is coming back to consciousness.
Yeah, I'll keep walking as long as he doesn't, like, immediately do anything.
Okay. After a few minutes pass, he does seem to come back to consciousness and kind of starts to struggle against your grasp, seemingly very confused at what is going on.
Yeah, August will, like, probably just set him down. Still holding him just to make sure he doesn't run. He's not exactly certain about their whole situation. And, yeah. Say, hey, so you're awake now. Do you know where you are? I assume you don't.
He will respond in Elvish.
I don't speak Elvish.
And everything you said to him just seemed to go over his head. It does not seem he ever learned Common.
Perfect.
Oh, good.
He
Alright.
looks very afraid and very confused at where he is and what's going on.
Hmm. Alright, I'll try saying hi in my other languages. Basically just trying to see if he speaks any of the other languages, you know?
He does not speak any of your other languages.
Fair, yeah. Alright, child, do you know how to... Can you communicate to this guy so that way he doesn't try and just run off into the astral sea?
The child will start speaking Sylvan to him, a language that you only really recognize the sound of since several of your party members have spoken it around you.
Yeah.
They seem to have a conversation for a few minutes. He doesn't want to come.
Why not?
He doesn't want you to take him back to Alice.
Why not?
He thinks Alice will try to kill him.
Why does he think that?
They had a disagreement apparently before the shattering of their home.
Alright, what was the disagreement?
Didn't say.
Alright. Does he know about the rest of the elves, or just, like, I guess, does he know anything else other than... Because I can't speak to him, so you know what? He's got... He's gonna come along anyways. I'm gonna... Just tell him he's coming along anyways, and I'll just...
I don't think he'll like that very much.
Yeah, well, it's either that or he can just enjoy being stuck in the astral sea.
Well, that is true. I'll try to convince him. A few more minutes pass. He says he'll come, but he wants a promise that you won't take him back to Alice.
Hmm. I'll think about it.
Should I just tell him yes for now?
Sure.
With some hesitation, he will seemingly agree to come with you without resistance.
Alright.
After walking for about another hour or two, the child will kind of turn to you. I presume at some point we'll have to stop for you two, right?
Probably, yeah.
How much longer can you go on?
I mean, how long has it been?
Since your party set out to infiltrate the academy, it has been about 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, so probably at least another 3 hours.
Fair enough. Ooh. If we travel for another 3 hours, we should be able to get to the portal the next day after another. How long would that be? After about another 16 hours of travel.
Alright.
Fair enough. So you'll travel for another 3 or so hours, and then, well, I would say make camp, but you probably don't have the supplies ready to make a camp, I presume.
I mean, I have like very basic stuff that might work, but yeah, I don't know, probably not.
Then you'll be sleeping on floating rock, I guess.
Yeah.
Before resting, the child will ask if you know anything of what's happened to the rest of the party.
They've met back up with the cultists for the most part. Well, at least, actually, I don't think Alice's told me anything other than. Has Alice told me that Dalen's.
I told you that we were back at 8.
Okay. Yeah, so. They say they're back at HQ. Well, Alice says they're back at HQ. That's pretty much it, I think.
Oh, at least they're alive.
Yeah.
Is there any questions you have for me?
Well, what all do you know about Dathir? Like, why would he want the Codex?
Like I said, I do not think he is ill-intentioned, but he is very rash, and if he believed that the power it has could stop Orthan, he would use it. For better or worse.
Alright, why have you two been messing with Oof?
Coincidence, it would seem mostly. Your party apparently discovered Tathir, and Oof must have gotten into contact with him apparently. And he is a very curious child, if nothing else. To be fair, I knew about him. I've known about him for about a decade. His parents used to explore many of the ruins that the gods I serve reside within, or used to at least a very long time ago.
What exactly happened to the old gods?
It's a long story. Maybe for another time.
Well, we got time while walking.
I suppose. It's complicated, but at some point, civilization, humanity, decided that they no longer needed the old gods. And after a destructive, pointless war, the old gods decided that the price was no longer worth paying because it would end in the destruction of the entire material plane. So they exiled themselves to the surrounding planes, many of them here to the astral seas, some to the Feywild, some to the elemental planes, and some to the Shadowfell.
I see. So, didn't you talk about something called the split, right? Is that related to that?
Yes.
So then, is this all kind of a repeat of what happened?
Not quite, but whatever Orthan's trying to do, I imagined they gained some access to the information. That history is long been lost. But if they found it, that could have given them the idea, if nothing else, or at least validated their cause.
All right, fair enough.
Now, I will say, as a fair warning, by the time you wake up, you probably will have come under the effect of something. So, I'll try to watch over you as you sleep, but just brace yourself, I suppose.
All right. And I have to be right back.
At around 3 hours in or so, would you basically make camp and take a long rest?
Yes. I have to be right back real quick, though.
Okay, no biggie. We'll be wrapping up anyways pretty soon. Dalen, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, you do come back to consciousness after several hours, 1 to 4 if you want to roll for it, but it doesn't much matter, I suppose.
Yeah. I assume I'm just still strapped to whatever.
You are.
Yeah. That probably doesn't make that much difference.
Do you see that your wound has been bandaged up?
Okay. 1 whole hit point. Hamlet's still gone.
Yes, although at you regaining consciousness, there is a attendant in the room, and he will leave after you gain consciousness. And several minutes after 7 minutes pass, Hammett will return with him. Well, it seems that your information was correct. We found several of them, and they are starting to detonate all the tunnels we found.
I did warn you.
Yes. It's only a matter of time. We already have crews working to dig through. Should be within the day. I do appreciate your honesty.
Like I said, I have no love for them.
True. And you seem to understand the situation you're in. A surprising rarity among prisoners.
I have served Orthan long enough to understand the ways.
Now, I did want to have a discussion about Tathir with you.
Very well. Frankly, I know very little of him, other than that he's not trustworthy.
And yet you've taken his word and thrown against everything you've ever stood for.
As I said, I did not take his word. He had to show me what happened. He showed me his heavenly sovereign destroying some old god, some sort of tree thing. It felt as real as me me strapped here to you. Maybe I was tricked. Anyway, it's all irrelevant now. You have said yourself it's true.
Well, some of it is. But it seems you've interpreted it in your own way. I suppose it's within your rights.
Indeed.
What do you know of him otherwise?
He is some sort of quasi celestial and fiendish entity. He is not from this realm. He has plans within plans. That is more or less.
Well, you've been honest so far, but We can always test that as well. At which point he will unravel across the table in the room, and you see several very painful-looking instruments on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, this is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm sure there will be a cage with starving rats in it at some point.
Still, I imagine torturing a barbarian would only end up with them going into a rage.
The restraints are very heavy. It seems they've anticipated for possibilities here. And they probably figure considering the current situation, Hammett can probably deal with a 1 HP barbarian.
Yeah.
I just mean it's gonna take a long time. It's gonna be a long torture.
That's the idea, right?
Yeah.
Now, is there anything you would like to share with me before we begin? You know, anything you might be holding out?
No, I don't think so. Although, I am intrigued, I confess. One thing for certain has rubbed off from my brief time with my new allies is I am very interested to see what your face looks like. Given that we're about to be extremely intimate, would you care to remove your
Well, if you see, you'll have to die.
helmet? Am I not going to die anyway?
No. You will be made loyal again to his heavenly sovereign.
And that therein lies the problem. We're not supposed to be loyal to his heavenly sovereign. We're supposed to be loyal to the Republic.
They're one and the same.
They are not. And
Well,
I think I'm done talking now. So you may go ahead.
fair enough. At this point, I would say you can make a wisdom saving throw.
10.
Okay. You feel a familiar touch in your brain as Tathir seems to be extending beyond what you've seen before. And you do hear his voice inside your head. So, I don't think this will serve either of us if he continues. What would your thoughts be on a chaotic escape?
As chaotic as your last ridiculous plan that got me in this situation in the first place.
The exact
I
same,
think-
actually.
I confess I have no particular interest in being tortured for what I'm sure will be an extended period of time. So, yeah, why not? What have I got to? I have nothing to lose at this point. So go for it. Not in mind.
I was going to do it either way. I just wanted you to know.
That's the other thing I had in the back of my mind. I was like, yeah, probably don't have any say in the matter. So yeah, do
We
what you
know
will.
it's building a relationship. If you think you have input into our decisions,
That
you know,
is incredibly
closer.
condescending.
You haven't inspired confidence thus far.
To be fair, neither of you.
At least I succeed at what I do.
Oh, that's cold. Hey,
At
up
which-
until I met you guys, I succeeded at everything. I had a great military career.
At this point, you start to
Yeah,
see
go for it,
the vial on the table start to glow and kind of slightly shake, at which point Hammett will kind of cock his head at you. Care to explain that?
I was just sort of like, I can't really move, but I'll just sort of like give the sort of the tiniest shrug.
And at that point, you hear outside of the room a very familiar high-pitched shrieking noise. And that's where we'll call the session for today.
Nice.
Okay. Look at that! You didn't get tortured yet.
I know. It's surprising. I really thought they'd start with the torture.
Yeah.
We
Just
did
like-
literally just tell them everything they kind of wanted to know right off the
I know, but I
bat.
was kind of expecting them to to just torture me a bit first, just to show me what's what, and then
Yeah, just to make sure you're being.
I was just like, well, I really, really hate the cultists. So yeah, you can have everything you want on them, because hey, kill each other works for me.
I'm just curious. Was there any thought that went into the
Sorry,
may hurt them?
I didn't. You broke up for me.
Was there any thought of that went into the rest of the
Sorry, you broke up again right at the end of that.
Oh, for the rest of the party, was there any thought that went into them? The rest of us?
Well, that's why I didn't tell him the entry that we went through. I didn't
Okay.
want them to catch you guys personally. I just wanted them to massacre the cultists. Because, I trust that you guys, because you guys don't trust the cultists anyway, and I'm kind of Plus, I still don't know you that well. I mean, it's only been a couple of days, and a big portion of that time I have been locked up by the cultists. So
I think it has actually only been 3. It's been an
yeah.
time.
So I'm kind of
outside of game. It's been 6 weeks.
yeah.
But we've been through so much together already.
Yeah. But I gotta say, now that I have the identify spell, I'm mad I've been carrying around all these.
Yeah.
Any idea that
I mean, you have been literally just carrying around albeit some of them
I could have sworn I asked for someone to identify that a long time ago, and it just never happened.
I believe Oof did, but I don't know. I don't think he ever shared
He
it.
probably did. He probably did, and then
You've
just never told
identified
us.
something. You've identified 5 items and just haven't said anything about them.
Yeah, that was the day you played for me, I think.
No, this was a long time ago.
No, this was ages ago. We've had that ring for
Yeah, we got
ages.
the ring before Devona and Kian joined the party.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about. I had to miss a long way back.
Oh, maybe.
Possible, yeah.
I would have been wearing it since then.
Actually,
It
that
is
may have been-
exactly
If you've
what
been wearing it since then, you would have already
could have
gone
been- that could have been the
Dwarven
period.
insane.
Yeah, that could have been the period during which we didn't even realize that Oof had any magic at all.
Yeah.
There was a long period of time.
We didn't know that he could do spells for the longest time.
And when we finally found out he could cast cure wounds, we were amazed.
Because we had 0 healers at that point, no healing magic at all, and then Oof just popped up oh, I can do this, cure wounds. We're you've had that the whole time.
To be fair, I do recall that he did not take until 3 or 4 levels into
I
artificial.
also recalled you telling him he could cast during that hag
Oh
fight,
yeah.
where you're by the way, you do have healing magic.
Yes, that sounds right.
Because that fight was bad. But it's not the worst thing we've been through, I guess. So I just want to know, have I been cutting in and out for
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You just got out saying that.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
oh, is everybody else? I see. I thought that might have just been me because it's not been bad. It's just
It's
I
always
sort of
towards the
understand,
end of your
yeah.
sentence. It cuts out a little bit at the end of your sentence, but it's only been happening for about the past hour and a half,
Yeah.
maybe. It wasn't doing it at the
Okay.
beginning.
I can still understand most things. It was just that one sentence you kept cutting out on the word party, so I didn't know what exactly you were referring to.
Maybe it was my sensitivity. I don't. But you guys have been fine for me, so that fixed one of the issues at least with my audio.
I'm sure you're plenty sensitive.
As for XP, just for everybody, we'll do 1,500 for that session.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm super, super close to leveling up. I'm at 63,400. No, 63,600. 400 to go.
I don't know exactly what we're at. We were at 65,850, right?
All I
Yeah.
know is that we're a long way from 11, so.
Okay, we should be at
It should be-
67,350.
Yeah.
I believe the next milestone is what is it off the top of my head?
It's a huge
Something
amount.
like 80 something?
It's like 85, 86, I want to say.
Yeah. Like,
We'll all be
in,
dead before
uh,
then.
In like 3 months, we'll
85?
see about it.
85,000, yeah. I
I
think.
hope we won't be dead.
I hope we'll be alive when it happens. Although
I had a
don't even think
party.
anything
I had
for
my party wiped yesterday playing Tomb of Horrors.
it. Ooh.
To be
Like, it was
fair,
hilarious, but it was
what level were
not
they?
Tomb of Horrors. Sorry, Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah. How far were they in it?
We got to the 4th level, and the barbarian lizard folk and my sorcerer had been like at each other's throats the whole time, and the barbarian was turning into a goat person, and I laughed at her turning into a goat person, so she shoved me headfirst into a sphere of annihilation. I had already stuck my hand into by accident and lost my hand, and then they were stuck in this maze room that they couldn't figure out how to get out of, and you have to chop your arm off, like hold your hand up. But they tried to teleport out, and if you teleport out, you end up in this like Star Wars: A New Hope in the trash compactor room. It's like that.
Yeah.
Except if you pull the wrong lever, another like sphere of annihilation thing opens up and but this one sucks you in. And like it's not that hard to avoid being sucked in by it, but they just kept like moving slightly away from it, trying to get to the other side of the room rather than tying themselves down or just pulling the lever again. So 2 more party members got sucked in, and then the barbarian who they left behind starved to death because she was too stupid to figure out how to get out of them. So the whole party. So yeah, the party wiped. So that was it was hilarious. It was so funny the way it all went down. But yeah, But yeah, I was like, that's an interesting way to go. So we're gonna start again at the start of the tomb bit.
Yeah.
With new level 8 or whatever characters, whole new party because we've all died. So that's the first time that's ever happened to me, so it was quite funny. But like, let's not have another one. Not 2 days. I was like, I could have 2 characters die in 2 days today. It was my main worry.
It seems like things are gonna work out for us. At
I
least a little
disagree.
bit.
That stupid psychic monster thing is there again, and we're about
Yeah,
to
but
run into it.
it's on my side this time.
I mean, I
think
thought it was
that
supposed to be on our side the last time.
I think it still
mean-
makes us go insane.
I mean,
I'm worried about spending a week
Yeah.
in the city.
well,
I would be
I just-
more worried about spending a week in the Shadowfell.
my thing is like I'm standing in front of Hammett, strapped to a table with 1 hit point. Even if I get free, I'm not sure how well I'm going to fare, but we'll see.
Don't forget 1 hit point and a medic in the room.
Oh yeah, so I can't like even if I get free, they'll probably just knock me unconscious back.
I was just curious, does August have advantage on grapple checks already when he's raging?
Yes,
Yep.
so you have
Okay.
advantage on all.
So, okay, there's no reason I can't give this horrible thing to Devona if she wants it.
The only problem I have with it is
I might
that
want to,
like
you never
it
know.
would give disadvantage on the dex saves.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's yeah.
What
It's
does
got some downsides. It
What
also
do you-
seems incredibly painful.
What does it do?
It does.
Yeah.
It gives you basically the full scale of it is you grow to a large size creature between 8 and 11 feet. Your strength goes up by 2, and it can go beyond the 20 cap. So that is one of the effects. You have advantage on all strength saves, but disadvantage on all dex saves. You'll have advantage on all grapple checks.
But what do you mean by
Kinda like that. That'd be
painful?
great
I
for
would
me.
say? Like, what does that mean?
That
You
was
need
stupid.
to apply a boiling tattoo to your skin, and the rest of your joints will hurt forever because they never quite adjust.
You're also disadvantaged, or it can just be impossible to use some weapon and tools because of the size discrepancy.